Testing, testing. 1 2 1 2. Test, test. Testing, testing. 1 2. Can you hear me? 1 2 1 2. Test, test. In the stripped club, straight up jorking it, and by it, haha. Let's just say, my peanuts. Hi. Oh, it's working. Excellent. Great. Alright. We're live, we're live. A little bit of a late night stream for me at the moment. We can just yap for a little bit while we wait for DN to show up. No, we can't hear you. We'll do troubleshooting as we go if need be. VTuber pregnancy? Hold on. Adamelek, you're gonna have to explain the context for that one. Is not the high chair of the court. How late is late? For me, it's around 11 p.m. for me at the moment, so. This is usually when I'd be, well, I'd be getting ready to go to bed. Yeah, a Euro-friendly stream. Yeah. I wanted to make sure you guys didn't starve over the course of, well, the entire month. We have to have at least one stream every month where the Euro bros don't have to just suffer. Chair is pregnant. That is not late. That's a bold statement. You're calling? Wait, hold on. You should be in the... Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong server, wrong server. Give me a second. I joined a little bit. I'll be in a quiet place. Alright, DN is about to hop in and explain himself before he gets to a safe location. Let me try and grab him. Hold on. Let's see if this works. We have some good old scuff. DN, are you there? Wait, can you guys hear him? Hold on. Let me... Adam. Alright, hold on. Give me a second. Wait, try saying something. Can you hear him, guys? Wait, say something, DN?
Yeah, I'm saying something. Hello, hello, hello. Well, maybe we need to move into your thing.
No, it should be fine where we are. Nothing? No.
Do you have your desktop audio turned up on your OBS?
Yeah, I do. Oh, you can? Okay, no, they can hear you. They can hear you now. All right.
Oh shit.
My quality isn't good. We improvise. He's streaming on the go.
True. I'm actually not home right now. I'm actually going to be super fucking late. It's fine though. That's what happens. Hi chat. I'm in Japan right now and currently stuck in the middle of nowhere. I still don't know how to navigate my way through this concrete jungle, but hey, you know, that's what happens when you're in Japan.
We have the special collab, me from my bedroom and DN from the McDonald's bathroom.
True. Wait, you can tell that I'm in a bathroom?
It sounds like you're in one. It sounds really echoey and tinny.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's because it's true. I am from a bathroom.
Oh, damn. Okay. Are you alright, by the way? You in a safe location?
No, not really. I'm kind of stressed out.
I'm assuming that no one's gonna like bang on the side of the stalls or something to tell you to be quiet.
Nah, we're relatively empty. It's relatively empty in here.
Okay.
So yeah, I am in the process of being about to go home to the Airbnb, and I should be able to rejoin you guys when I rejoin you guys. Yes. Nah, bro, it's wild, bro. That's just what's gonna happen sometimes. You know, it happens.
What have you been up to while you're still there? What have you been up to while you're still here?
What do you mean? In Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm still up for a lot of stuff. Funny story. I went to the not funny story. I haven't posted this on Twitter yet. I was going to when I get home, but I went to the Mr. Donut that Fuamoko got into.
Oh
I
damn.
made my
Okay.
journey. Yeah, bro. I even ordered the same thing they did. I mean, they ordered that milk latte thingy, but I didn't order that. Yes, yes.
Damn. You finally completed the pilgrimage.
True. And I'm sure there's going to be more, but that's one thing off the bucket list. Now I can kill myself peacefully. Well, as peaceful as you could get. I'm gonna be real. Yeah.
We are. Oh. Never change. Alright. Do you need to get going soon so you can get back to the Airbnb?
Um. Actually, you know what? Let me. If you want to do it, if you want to do it as early as now, right? What we can do.
It's okay. I can
Basically, no. I still have quite some time. You can show
Okay.
off one thing on your list. I'm gonna explain why I don't like it. I'm gonna fuck off. You go through your list, and then I'll go through my reasonings for it when I get back home. Rather, you think that's good?
I mean that works. That works fine.
Let's
Or I could just
go.
yap about other stuff until you join us.
True. I mean, that's up to you, honestly. I might be a while for a bit because, hey, there's like fucking. I have to go 5 stops back, 5 train stops back. Yeah, it's kind of long.
I thought you
Kinda
were
long.
like I thought you were like one train station away from your B&B.
No, man, I'm really far. Like I'm fucking. It's like 5, 6 stops. I can't even count. And you know what's the most stressful thing about all of this is?
What?
Um, fucking. My battery percentage is like 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
In that
all right.
case-
I'm gonna be going. Yeah, I'm gonna be going. I'm gonna save some stuff. Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to you joining us later.
All right. I'll see you.
See you,
I'll
bro.
see you back home. Bye-bye.
Yes. And there he goes, off into the ether. Oh, this truly is one of the one of these scuff streams of all time. But yeah, it was really funny seeing you guys just spam rip monetization. Oh, it's okay. I'll shake down Nousagi for some money later. It'll be no problem. Good prepared. Such a bunny creature failure. But he's our bunny creature failure. Alright, so actually, while Nousagi is struggling his way home, I might as well just go through what the premise for this stream is. So, essentially, I was having a conversation with Nousagi, I think a few weeks ago now, and we came up on the topic of just different groups of people that we found to be very personally annoying. Now, these aren't people that we might, well, I suppose, hate per se, but just different groups of people that strike a different pet peeve. So, we got to thinking, what if, let's put on a hypothetical. What if, at some point in the future, one or both of us became omnipotent, all-powerful beings that were able to enforce morality in whatever way we wanted? How would we allocate appropriate punishments for these groups of people who annoy us? And that's what got us thinking about all of these different creative ways of sentencing people or correcting these sort of, I suppose, behaviors. Hate ranting, exactly. Because sometimes, I mean, DN will be very familiar with this since he's made this kind of content for years. But when you... this isn't even a VTuber specific thing. Yeah, Spite certainly motivated you, for sure. Oh, by the way, Senor Tortilla, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Footstools. So yeah, I mean, look, I've said this before. I am driven by spite and vitriol, at least at the beginning. But when you look into when your content revolves around, I suppose, picking up on, shall we say, silly behavior, mistakes like that, it's very frustrating sometimes to watch people make fools out of themselves, to watch companies make fools out of themselves. And the problem is, sometimes when you watch silly behavior, it's not illegal. There's no justice for it, and it's not illegal. So you're kind of left there a little unsatisfied, without that feeling of all-important catharsis at the end of a situation. This is what we're aiming to address here. We thought to ourselves, okay, what if we came up with some of the most poetic, or in other words, creative ways of punishing these, well, silly behaviors? So, you know you effed up when the omnipotent Eames chair decides you are deemed unworthy. Silly in quotation marks, yes. Hope you don't burn your hate reserves. No, I still have plenty more in the tank, and I gain more every day that I spend on the internet. Which is why, at the end of the day, it's very important to be able to log off. Will alcohol be involved? No, not for this stream, not for this stream. Actually, first thing I want to establish, a few disclaimers for this stream, just in case anyone is, passing through it from YouTube. I want to make it very clear that unless we specify, none of the groups mentioned in this stream are intended to reference specific people and or public figures. Again, these are just general groups of people that we find to be irritating, that exhibit behaviors that we find irritating. It doesn't have to be any specific person or figure. Second, all punishments, quote-unquote, are for the purposes of humor and satire. They are not, and they should not be taken as, a call to action. Again, this is just us allowing our minds to run wild. So, I see. Yeah, wouldn't want to lose you too early. Children on Twitter? Oh, believe you me, Kyotsuoi, we are going to be talking about children later on in this stream. Because, this is something all of you are probably going to be very familiar with, but children on their own, perfectly fine. Maybe a little annoying because they're children, but they're fine. However, children on the internet, now that is a combination that was never supposed to exist. Evolutionarily, children on the internet is something that I view as a bit of a dead end for our species. If the invention of fire was one of our highlights, children on the internet is for sure one of our lowlights. Mike Honey, be careful about that one. Some people who haven't watched the Dustborn playthrough might not know what you're referencing there, but yes. Is it just me, or is the background music playing twice? Oh, hold on. There we go, that should fix it. It shouldn't be doubling up anymore. Alright. So, to give you an example of what I mean, one group of people that I find to be extraordinarily annoying. People who walk their dogs without bringing plastic bags. Now, I don't know how it is for you guys, but in Australia, we do have penalties in our local areas, our towns, our cities, wherever, where you usually have signs up telling people that if they're caught walking their dog without a plastic bag, then they will be given a fine. But the problem is, you usually don't have anybody around to actually enforce that rule. So what ends up happening is, well, again, depending on the town, the kind of inhabitants that, well, occupy it, you may get very frequently dog owners that just, well, walk about without ever thinking to bring something to catch the shit nuke that their dog is keen on leaving on the footpath. And at the end of the day, well, for me personally, the reason why I find this to be so much of an offense, so much of an affront to myself, is because I've lost multiple pairs of shoes to exactly this phenomenon. This absolute crime against public responsibility. There's no dog park near you? Doesn't having a pet count as your responsibility? Yes, for sure. Because, again, one of the things that makes this particular behavior so frustrating to me is because it exhibits this sort of two-layered lack of responsibility. One, a lack of responsibility towards your pet. Again, taking a plastic bag with you while you walk them is the bare minimum of making sure that you are cleaning up after them. That you are, again, making sure that they don't leave any sort of lasting negative impact on the environment you're walking them around in. And then secondly, a lack of empathy for other people. Because again, if your dog leaves a dookie on the side of the road and someone steps into it when they're not looking, well, chocolate landmine, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, if your dog leaves a chocolate landmine on the side of the road for some poor sod to step in, that's, again, responsible dog owners would not do this. And I can most definitely see the owners of these dogs who do this, who exercise this neglect. While I could definitely see them being caring pet owners, I definitely don't see them being empathetic people in general. And so, when trying to think up a way of, I suppose, punishing this lack of empathy, because at the end of the day, punishment is, well, again, the point of punishment has multiple different purposes. If it's punishment that you are supposed to view as from the perspective of an audience member or a spectator, then it's supposed to provide catharsis. But ideally, for the person being punished, the punishment will be a lesson of sorts, a chance to develop some personal trait that will help in correcting the behavior. So, how do you punish a lack of empathy, a lack of responsibility? And the answer to that is almost universally suffering. Some sort of suffering, ideally not something that will actually have a tangible financial or physical effect on the person being punished, but just enough of an emotional or psychological one to make some sort of an impact. But Armchair, what if he thinks he wants to contribute to the public with dog poop as grass fertilizer? Well, the problem is there is far better grass fertilizer that doesn't scuff up people's shoes. I hate when dog owners don't pick up after their pet's shit, for sure. And so, for in this particular case, the punishment that I came up with was very simple. The sentence for people who walk their dogs without bringing plastic bags is as follows: 360 hours of community service at the nearest veterinary clinic. But they only get called in on days with scheduled euthanizations. Now, I like this punishment for a number of reasons. First, again, since it's community service at the nearest veterinary clinic, they actually contribute to society in some way. Instead of just leaving those chocolate landmines around, you actually contribute towards helping out other pet owners, well, say goodbye to their pet, putting them down in a humane way. However, at the same time, you get to witness a little bit of suffering while you're at it. Hopefully develop a little bit of empathy by watching other pet owners have to come to terms with the loss of their pet. Again, you're not doing anything wrong or even unethical, quite the opposite. But the intended effect is to hopefully expose you to a little bit of human suffering so that you can learn that empathy. That's a lot of hours. 360. I mean, 360 divided by 24. That's like... Hold on, let me think. 15? I think that's 15 days worth. So that's not really that much. 360 over the course of, let's say, 360 hours over the course of 6 months. It's probably not that much. But again, at least they're contributing to society in a useful and meaningful way, with this being the punishment in mind. To tame. Again, we're not looking to maim them or anything. We're not looking to execute these people. Well, most of these punishments are not aimed at executing these people. But just a little bit of catharsis for perhaps a spectator audience. 15 business days. 15 days if they do it non-stop? True. Although, can you imagine though, because not every shift is going to be a full 24 hours. More likely you're going to be doing this in shifts of 6 or 12 hours. And if you break it up that way, well, you basically get how many? 30, 60 different shifts where you have to go over to a clinic only to watch people euthanize their pets. And again, I do think that is enough psychic damage to repay the kind of, well, I suppose, neglect that incurred this punishment in the first place. 120 days if they can only do it for 3 hours a day. Exactly. And imagine how many euthanizations you can help with over the course of 120 days. So, next example. An oldie but a goldie. Something that has plagued the internet for as long as it's been in existence. Children attempting to enter 18 plus spaces online. Again, I could have said trying to enter 18 plus spaces offline as well, but online I view as more of a problem because they are considerably more accessible. Now, I don't think I need to explain why children trying to get into 18 plus spaces is both a problem that will never quite go away and is also a deeply problematic issue as well. For starters, you have problems like, well, for those who don't know who this is a video essay maker by the name of Pyrocynical, a commentary YouTuber by the name of Pyrocynical. And essentially, a few years back, I think around, well, it says here 3 years back, Pyrocynical had a bit of a controversy where he was accused of grooming by a minor that, well, made the conscious decision to try and enter an 18 plus RP server on his Discord. And suffice to say, Pyro managed to pretty conclusively address and, well, dismiss the allegations that he was engaging in any sort of grooming behavior. He did admit that he was a little neglectful in not checking the age of the user. However, I would say that in this particular case, the parents of that child are completely responsible for what their kid ended up doing. In any case, the issue of children trying to enter 18 plus spaces is never really quite going to go away because at the end of the day, well, I mean, this is something I can to some extent understand because as strange as it is to think about, I too was once a child, and I can understand if as a child or a teenager you have the sort of, how do I say, the pull towards trying to mature quickly, to trying to prove to either your peers or to yourself that you have an outlook on life that is beyond your years. However, ideally, this is where parents would step in and say, no, You don't do that. But unfortunately, in today's day and age, I do have the sinking feeling that far too much of modern parenting is being outsourced to a fucking iPad. So, again, this problem is perhaps anecdotally, at least, a lot more prevalent than it was maybe a few years ago. So, if you can't stop children from getting onto the internet, getting into 18 plus spaces, because most of these online spaces do not have a lot of things in the way of that. They don't have compulsory ID checks, at least not for all of these sites or spaces. And sometimes it can be just as easy as dismissing a pop-up. So you can't really expect these sites to have an inbuilt function to distinguish between adult and child all the time. And you can't always rely on, parents doing their job, although, again, that's what the default should be. So, how do we correct these children? The only logical solution, when you've eliminated the ability to shut them out of the website entirely, or for parents to intervene in the real world, is to tag them, to label them as children, to make it very obvious when a minor is in a certain online space. And by signaling that to everyone present, everyone else would ideally know to avoid them. Now, in keeping with the spirit of that idea, of humanely tagging the child so that everyone can identify when there is a minor in the virtual space. The punishment for children attempting to enter 18 plus spaces online is a mandated profile picture change to any protagonist from a popular children's TV show, accompanied by a restriction to only using words consisting of one syllable when typing. And again, the purpose of this isn't to, ideally, it's not a legal one. It's not a legal way of redressing the problem. We're not contacting the parents or anything. It's not always realistic. But in an ideal world, the way that these children would be punished is by being forced to make it clear to everyone else in that space that they are indeed a child. Yeah, exactly. Sentenced to Cocomelon aesthetic, essentially. And it all comes down to addressing the fundamental problem of wanting to pass as an adult. And while I can understand that desire, I also think that it is something that, if left unchecked, can be highly pathological. So, how can you even communicate like that? That's the thing. You can't. You can only communicate in, babu terms. Can you imagine trying to have a conversation with somebody? Can you imagine a child trying to argue about the Israel-Palestine conflict while only being restricted to one-syllable words? And again, that is a conversation like that would sound extraordinarily childish. They would speak like cavemen or babies, and that would be the point, because they would be marked out as being children. Combined with that, the situation that happened to Pyrocynical about 3 years ago, where the child entered an erotic or an erotic experience, an erotic roleplay focused server, that kind of thing can be pretty much eliminated, because I guarantee if you show up in an ERP server with, Teletubbies as your profile picture, you will be shunned by everyone else in that server. And again, that would have accomplished its job, all without having to actually invoke the law. They can't even say skibbity. True. Exactly. Does this also apply to audio calls? Again, the thing is with audio calls is you can tell that they are children. And this is all about just making it really obvious when a child is in the space. If they have an audio call, you can tell by their voice. This just makes it so that they can't hide behind text either. And again, once you've done that, you've pretty much flagged them in whatever space you're occupying, without having to go through any sort of formal moderation system. That could be someone's fetish, though. At that point, if that is the case, then the someone in question is probably going to be, well, liable for punishment as well. But yeah. But I liked watching Teletubbies when I was little. So did I. But again, well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will instantly recoil when they see that kind of thing in a space that is designed for adults. When children tend to act as if they are 20-somethings, it will forever be cringe funny. Oh, for sure, for sure. But again, this is aimed at pretty much reducing their ability to do even that, right? When you're restricted to only using one-syllable words, any pretense at adulthood or maturity is pretty much instantly gone, so... Change their bio too. Kids can find other kids then? Yeah. And again, that would be the point. Because at the end of the day, one of the greatest tragedies of the internet is that it's made it so that it's normalized to some extent the ability for minors to hang out with adults more often than they hang out with other kids. And in my ideal world, where no child would be able to speak in an 18+ space without sounding like a caveman or a baby, this would be, you know, well, ideally, in my ideal world, there will be no children on the internet. Minors' rights as cast aside. But something like this that would tag children in such an obvious way would also allow them to find other kids. And if you share the same sort of, I suppose, restrictions on your expression, that's at least one point of commonality that you've already established between the two of you. So, caveman lingo. What if you sound and talk like a child because English isn't your first language? I mean, sounding like a child is not the same thing as actually being a child. At that point, is it the adult's fault? Oh, for sure. I mean, even outside of this hypothetical reality, right? It's still the parents' fault for not properly supervising their child. Again, I can't stress this enough. While it is unfortunately accepted as a common reality that children will be able to worm their way into 18+ spaces online, that should not be happening, because ideally, parents would be able to intervene before they've even used their device or their platform. And these platforms would, and again, this is something that I don't see happening, these platforms would have regulations in place in order to tell if a user is under 18. Now, actually, funny story for those who don't know anything about Australia. In Australia, our government has recently proposed a change to the law that would mandate, well, that would make it illegal for children to use social media below the age of 16. Now, again, in theory, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a good thing to me. Because, let's be honest, if you're 15 years old, you have no business being on Twitter or Instagram or, I don't know, I almost said Reddit. And to be honest, I don't think 15-year-olds should be on Reddit either. But, you know, that one's a little bit more up in the air. But definitely not Instagram, definitely not Twitter. Those platforms are awful for the mental health and mental development of children and teenagers. But unfortunately, because it is the Australian government, I can very easily see them cocking up the way that it's actually implemented and written into law. So, I like it, but it gives too much power to the government. Exactly. And that's one of the, I suppose, that's one of the things that makes it so irritating when you see a law like this be proposed, because the concept for it is solid. This is a law that, were it to be implemented correctly, would make the internet an objectively better place for both adults and children in Australia. But, unfortunately, the chances of government overreach with a rule like that is simply too high. So, especially Instagram and Twitter. Yep. Instagram and Twitter have done irreparable damage to an entire generation of children. Oh yeah, TikTok. TikTok has absolutely destroyed the attention spans of children nowadays. And it's not even just an anecdotal thing anymore, because at this point, well, to be fair, it's not just children getting their attention spans destroyed. Adults are as well. But I really do think that allowing a child below the age of 10 to watch content on TikTok must be some form of child abuse. Because that site it's essentially cocaine, but in visual form for children. And that is just, that is not, again, all of these platforms are built with algorithms that are designed to hack the human brain. And children have infamously underdeveloped brains. And that is a combination absolutely begging even, for disaster. Agree, yeah. That is brain rot. Yeah, for sure. From memory, I'm pretty sure brain rot has been a term that has been used for the last 2 decades at the very least, but I swear, anecdotally speaking, I swear the word brain rot has picked up in use over the last 4 years exponentially. And just the fact that it seems to be it's become such a common part of everyday lingo is I think it speaks to the kind of content that is overtaking all of the platforms we use, or has come to overtake all of the platforms we use over the last few years. but armchair, think of the money. Honestly, I remember, and this is something that I heard about down the grapevine. This is not something that I ever benefited off of or experienced personally. But I remember hearing about how on Spotify for a few months, I think this was about 2 or 3 years ago, it was a very viable business strategy to upload songs or audios about, or that revolved around toilet humor. And essentially what you would do is you would upload those songs onto Spotify and then pray that some child in some household will jokingly yell out a toilet joke to their Alexa or some other home device, and then end up auto-playing your track over and over, garnering you more plays and therefore more revenue. And to be honest, I do think that if you snapped your fingers and disappeared all children off of the internet tomorrow, you would start to see some very real financial consequences for the ad revenues of a lot of sites. I would even go further to say that, well, again, this is slightly off topic, but I have if there are any low stakes conspiracy theories that I personally ascribe to, one of the conspiracy theories that I personally am very much in belief of at the moment is the idea that YouTube is trying its best to covertly become a children's entertainment site. And again, this is something that doesn't surprise anybody. It's by no means a groundbreaking or even controversial conspiracy. And I say conspiracy because YouTube has never come out and said it themselves. But when you think about how YouTube has been moving in terms of its monetization, in terms of its community guidelines policies, in terms of wanting to make sure that all of the content on its platform is family friendly despite still having a separate YouTube Kids app, when you start looking at how aggressively it will strike and demonetize channels that create content that isn't family friendly, you start to kind of see how there is this subtle disciplinary push for creators to make their content as watered down for child audiences as possible. And on top of that, the thing that really convinces me that this must be the case is the fact that YouTube has the ability to forcibly mark videos as being for kids. If you have a video that is family friendly, and this is a thing that isn't new by any means. Creators have been talking about this for years now, but there are certain cases where if you make consistently family friendly content, YouTube can occasionally come in and mark your videos as being for kids. Now, for the creator, that can be a problem because it impacts their ability to make ad rev off of that video. However, for YouTube, they get market share in child entertainment. And market share in child entertainment is a very lucrative thing. So, if you think about it, by pushing creators via disciplinary action towards making family-friendly content, and then forcibly coming in themselves and turning that family-friendly content into being quote-unquote for kids, YouTube has the perfect excuse to pivot into being a child entertainment website. Oh. Okay. Nousagi just messaged me saying that he's around 15 minutes away. I really... He's hoping that his bus doesn't crash or anything, but yeah. Conspiracy, yeah. Sheena's streams being labeled as for kids because of her small hands. Certain VTubers got flagged as kids content and then got into trouble for being an adult. I think that's something different though, because that has to do more with the model of the VTuber in question being something that, well, resembles a child in appearance according to whatever platform they're using. So, DN's IRL speedrun for Platform 8. Yeah. Anyways, to move on to the next one. This is a pet peeve that if you've watched any of my prior streams, if you've listened to me talk about race and diversity, this will be you will be very familiar with this pet peeve. But the next group of people that personally offend me, people who say that you can't be racist to a specific race, any specific race. And again, one thing that's always bugged me about people like this is a fundamental misunderstanding as to what racism is. This need to play fast and loose with the definition of that word and of that concept. Again, it seems so self-explanatory. It seems so basic and fundamental that you can't even fuck it up. But again, to be racist is just to discriminate on the basis of race or cultural background. And while working within that definition, to say that you can't be racist to a specific race is just about the most idiotic thing that you can say. And on top of that, something else that I've also, and again, this is something that a lot of you will have observed over the internet as well. It's extraordinarily irritating to me when people who will jump up and down at the use of a slur for one race or one group of people will then be perfectly fine themselves using a slur for a group of people, for another different group of people. And again, One of the things that irritates me so much about that is just the fact that there is no consistency. Either acknowledge that all slurs are just words, or don't say any of the slurs. And this is especially irritating to me when I consider the fact that one of the only things that, and I chose this picture on purpose, when you really boil down, oh, JV Robogato, thank you for the 50 currency. Haven't they heard of the Slavs? True. And see, the thing is, with slurs in particular, and this is the thing with any word in English, or even not even in English, just in any language in general. If you want a word to lose its meaning, if you want a word to lose its power, its venom, the easiest way to do that is to deaden the word, to immunize people against the word, to use it to the point where it loses its meaning. Philippine peso? Okay, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, so hypocrisy makes you mad? Yeah, basically. So, if you want to, and this is something that I talked about in the response stream to Shizzy's abortion of a critique video on the VTuber community. But if you want a slur to lose its power, the best way to do that is to, well, I suppose, make it so that as many people say it as possible. And again, it might sound outrageous to some people. They might automatically bristle at the idea. However, if you want to see that in action, all you have to do is look at words like Nazi, like grifter, like slut and whore to some extent. Like, well, words like bimbo. And again, when you look at all of those words like that, they've become inoffensive by virtue of the fact that they have been used so much in popular language, and as a result, they have lost their meaning. Now, as a result of that, to reflect that, for people who say that you can't be racist to X race, their sentence is that every social media post that they put onto their social media must include at least 3 slurs for races or groups that the original poster does not identify as. And this punishment serves 2 functions. One, it caters to what I talked about just then about, well, nullifying the offensiveness of a word through repetition, but it does that in an ironic way, because essentially what these people will be trapped into is that they end up weakening every slur for every group except for the one that they are a part of. If all they're able to do is use slurs for other different groups of people, then at the end of the day, everyone else has a less offensive slur except for them. The second thing is, it acts as a beacon to other people who are similarly as brain damaged as themselves. And at the end of the day, you allow all of these individuals to have their own sort of playground, where they are free to virtue signal, to publicly lampoon one another, and in doing so, keep themselves isolated from the rest of the sane population. Can you give an example? I want one. Well, actually, so again, all of these words that you have, okay, so one of the things that really bugs me, again, about the idea that you can't be racist to X race is the fact that to say that, you ignore the idea that racism is a context-based thing, that slurs in particular are based on context. They derive their venom from the context in which you use them. For example, you have words like chink, like cracker, like monkey. Now, if you're thinking about the way that they're used in everyday language, all of them have an everyday meaning. monkey being an animal in nature, cracker being a food, and chink being a gap in something. However, when you apply them to a specific race, or when you use them to refer to a group of people that exhibit a specific physical characteristic and or cultural background, that's what gives it the venom. And again, this is what I mean when I say that just as you can't exclude an entire group of people from the concept of racism, you also need to acknowledge that what makes a slur poison is not the word itself, but the way in which you use it. So means you can now say gamer. Yeah. You need DN to talk about slurs. I was watching DN when he appeared on Under the Tees podcast with Mizu, Oko, and Lumi. And DN brought up the term sea monkey, which is again, it's such a funny word that I genuinely don't understand how someone can say that with a straight face, and how someone with malice in their heart can utter that aloud and believe that it will hurt anyone. Because the sea monkey is just such a funny word to me. It's got that bounciness in the phonetics that makes it so fun to say. Oh, Vivian Raj, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Welcome to the 10 new Footstools. I hope you enjoy your time here. But yeah, dog water vibe. Yeah, kind of. So yeah, sea monkey? Yeah, again, it's supposed to refer to Southeast Asia, and then monkey because I guess it's supposed to be referencing like the fact that they have tan skin. But again, it's such a... I remember doing this when I was much younger, but at some point I went onto the Wikipedia page that listed all the different slurs that existed in different languages for different races or groups of people, and some of them were just the funniest terms I've ever seen before or since. For example, did you know that one of the slurs that was once popularly used for French people was cheese-eating surrender monkey? Now again, that's a big mouthful, but this is something that people used to unironically say in order to try to deride French people. And when you just read it nowadays, it just sounds like a... It doesn't even sound that offensive. It just sounds like a joke. And again, this is what I mean about words themselves, terms themselves, not really holding any venom. It all comes from the context in which you use them. Yeah, cheese, as in, curdled milk plus. I love cheese, though. Yeah, and again, that's so long that I do see how that can be a problem, too. Because if you want to whip out if you want to whip out a quick insult, cheese-eating surrender monkey is not really high up on the priority list. You need to say that with a thick Victorian accent. I am, and again, this is a little bit of foreshadowing. I've spoken to Proctor Zakharov before, and I think as of right now, Proctor is the only person I've spoken to who has not a British accent, but an accent that comes from a country that is part of the UK. I think that's the closest we're going to get. So perhaps in the future, I can ask if Proctor would be willing to read aloud the words cheese-eating surrender monkey, just so we can get as close to an immersive experience of that word as possible. But anyways, moving on to the next group of people. Trend-chasing boycotters. Oh boy. You know 'em, you love 'em, you love to hate them. This is a group of people that is not completely, but mostly endemic to Twitter. I'm a bad gamer. Thank you for the 5. A lot of these people believe the definition of racism equals privilege plus power, which ends up with this hypocrisy. They think it is double standards. They don't think it's double standards. Yeah. Actually, just briefly revisiting that point. This is going to sound like a little bit of a... Oh, okay. Hold on. Give me a second. Nousagi has just expressed that he's safe and sound in the Airbnb. I'll be getting a call any minute now. But to quickly explain, this link between racism, the idea of racism, with power and privilege is very much a consequence of, well, what I would say is Marxist ideology. And again, this is a term that when most of you hear it, you'll probably, quite understandably, just switch off instantly. But to explain it in very simple terms, essentially, Marxism is an ideology that is entirely based around the idea of the exchange of power between two classes, oppressor and oppressed. And it is an ideology that looks at every single social interaction, every single social problem through that lens, through the lens of an oppressor that holds power and privilege and an oppressed person that doesn't hold either of those. And again, condensing racism down to a simple matter of power and privilege is a very logical consequence of looking at everything through that particular ideological lens. Now, this is a topic that could very much get its own stream some point down in the future, but to briefly sum it up, that is why this sort of anti-logical view of racism exists in current day. So yeah, class struggle, exactly. Yeah. But anyways, returning to trend chasing boycotters. Oh boy, where do I even begin with this one? We have plenty of examples of people doing this. Most recently, most infamously, the Genshin boycott. Now, this is a video from Muujin recapping the entire thing. I have referenced it on previous streams. So, and again, if you are interested in, if you'd like to see a bunch of, well, pretentious performative boycotters utterly fail at what they're trying to do, I highly recommend watching this video by Muujin. He does great commentary over this entire situation. But the thing that always bothered me about these, well, these parodies of an actual boycott is that it's a perfect encapsulation of how social media has utterly ruined social activism, because it becomes about performing instead of actually getting some sort of change implemented. It becomes about finding the most frivolous, the most easy, the most low investment cause that you can rally behind with another group of equally disenfranchised and mentally ill individuals, so that all of you can give each other the impression that you're doing something, all in one giant clusterfuck of an attempted movement. And above all, the thing that never ceases to irritate me when I see this cropping up in the course of my everyday life is the fact that it is almost always around a topic or subject or cause that is no deeper, no less superficial than a mere trend. It's never something that the people engaging in the quote-unquote boycott actually have intense personal feelings about, rooted in real-life experience, but more just something that is flavorful, something that these people like to, well, something that these people have considered a common talking point for, well, whoa! Can you guys hear him? Hold on. I just got jump scared by DN. Hello. Hold on, let me switch over.
For all this time, it took me a while, but I'm here. Hi, chat. Hello.
Hello. You might need to chuck me your Fuji again, because it's
What?
not turning up.
Oh, I don't think I have one here. Oh, wait.
Oh, you don't?
I'll give you one of my emotes. Actually, wait. I
Just
just
send
finished
it-
an e.
Just send
Yeah,
it
I'll
over
just
to me.
send
I'll
it.
just put it on the screen so they can tell that you're here.
All right. Let's go. Send it to you.
Hi, DN. Is DN loud?
I
Hold on.
am.
Let me see.
Wait, how loud?
Guys, give me a 1 in the chat if DN's volume is good for you.
Okay, how about now?
No, don't change anything on your end. I think you were fine. I just needed to change the audio on my end.
Damn,
Wait.
that's crazy. Wait, really?
You sound way softer now. Hold on.
Wait, really? What do you mean? Okay, I did reduce it a lot.
Hold on.
Hold
Hold on. A bit loud. Wait, is he okay now?
I should be. At least I hope so.
Two. You see, you might be a bit soft right now because you you might have overcorrected a little bit.
Okay, how about now?
No, hold on. Try saying something again.
I am in Japan. I just got.
They're saying that you
to-
sound distant from the mic. You might want to turn up your gain a little bit.
Oh my fucking god! All right, hold on. Okay, how about now? I should be good now. At least I hope so.
Okay.
Right?
I think that should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. Damn, that's crazy.
All right. We
Wait,
good
actually,
now?
you know what?
Nice. Okay.
Let me see if it's okay. Oh
Chuck
wait,
me an
wait,
emote.
So we're good. I already did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hold on. Let me.
Yep.
Nice image.
Hey man, it's a new emote. It's a new emote. Let's go.
I look forward to being able to use this in your chat.
Soon. It's all not done. My emotes are still not done, but I got half of it. Once I got the other half, I should have new emotes for the channel. Anyway, what were we? Which slide are we on? Trend chasing boycotts. Are you basically done here?
I was talking about the the Genshin boycott.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Wait, okay, so are you done with all of them, or did you just go back?
Oh no,
or
no, no,
what's
I was just
on?
going through mine. So we still have
Oh.
yours up. We have DN's handsome face.
Oh, true,
Unfortunately, it's not reactive, but it's good enough. It's close enough.
So we're still on page 16.
Yeah, I can jump around. It's fine.
All right,
So-
wait, let's go. Let's do that. Let's go. Hello, everybody.
Hello. So, as I was saying, so basically for trend chasing boycotters, I was just ranting about how every single time I see one of these boycotts crop up on my, well, usually on Twitter, it's almost always just a bunch of people trying to publicly perform how good of a person they are to one another. And it's never about something that they actually care about. It's more just, you know, whatever is trendy at the moment.
Yeah, whatever the fuck what they see on the internet. Like it's interesting, right? Because oh my god. Some of these people say that they want to boycott X, Y, and Z, but don't do actually anything tangible to help it, or are inconsistent with their beliefs and their support for the same thing that's literally happening everywhere. Like if they dislike the genocide or the whatever that's going on in Genshin Impact, or not just even Genshin Impact. Let's use the McDonald's thing as an example, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where's the support in fucking, like, you know, the Uyghurs in China or the Ukrainians in Russia? Then like why don't we see that in your bio? You know, shit like that. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's such a the thing that you pointed out just then with like the tunnel visioning on some of the most like American centric concerns that you can imagine is just so
Yeah, no. I have no idea why people do that. Like, I feel like if people are just more real about the fact that they don't actually care about X, Y, and Z, the world would be a much more productive place. I'm gonna be real with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, with all of these movements, like the common thread is that they fall into one of two extremes. Either they are very like, well, maybe coordinated is the wrong word, but maybe they tend to either be like really fanatical and yet aimed at a really like tiny insignificant goal, like trying to take McDonald's fries off of the menu or something, or they tend to be like aimed towards like really large and like, you know, quote unquote significant goals, like for example, solving the Israel-Palestine conflict, and yet display no level of coordination or ability to affect actual change at all. And as a result, when I was thinking of like, different things that we could sentence trend chasers to when it comes to boycotters, the sentence that I came up with was, all of their major life decisions can only be decided via change.org petition, with the number of signatures needing to be equal to the goal set by the last petition they participated in. Now, what
That's
this means...
so good, though. Okay.
What this means is they essentially have to choose between trying to express their support for a major decision and then not having any ability to make a decision in their own life. Or, in order to prepare for the next major life decision, they can only ever engage with small-scale events or causes. And this is just like... the reason why I like this sentence so much is because it encapsulates the sort of, like, again, that kind of futility that comes along with what they're already doing, but it actually forces people like this to confront how little they are actually getting done. And at the same time, I mean, at this point, change.org has become like a meme on the internet because of how little actually gets done through there. But
who the fuck even made that site? I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
Like, whoever made that site, I feel like, what goal did they have in mind to actually get that in there? I feel like if whoever made that site is just in it to grift people, like, basically, like, feed off of, like, I feel like that's actually what's going on here. I mean, I don't know. Right?
I swear, like, change.org would not be viable as a site over the course of the next 5 years if Twitter got deleted tomorrow.
True. No, I agree with you, 100%. And oh my god, it's crazy. And you know what my other punishment was for that? Me personally, I was thinking about this, right?
Oh wait, wait, hold on. Before you get to that, I have the slide for that. So wait, is this Slacktivists?
No, this is boycott. This is boycott.
Oh, boycotters? Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah. Yours was basically that all their major decisions are basically gonna have to be not vetoed, but like chosen via change.org, right?
Yeah.
My decision, my sentences is that basically all their lives, all the major decisions that they have in life are dictated by other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, other people. No. Yeah, true. Just in general, other people.
Yeah,
like,
that sounds pretty good.
True. Like, they're not their major decisions, their beliefs. Their beliefs are basically dictated by other people. Or hey, the overwhelming majority of the internet wants you to be a baby murder supporter. Hell yeah, then you have to be a baby murder supporter, right? Yeah, shit like that. That's gonna be so fucking funny. That way they can see the irony in their ways, I suppose. I don't know. I feel like I'm looking for poetic punishments whenever shit like that happens.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what I was aiming for as well. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. What's the shit that I wasn't able to cover? I mean, I can go over the stuff that I want to. To go over.
I can go from the start if you want.
Okay.
All right. So
okay.
First one
Sure.
that you had. Yeah, I want you to talk me through this one.
Okay.
People with main character syndrome.
Oh my god. Let's go. Okay, I think I was the one that chose that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So. I think part of the reason why I actually chose this is because I used to have main character syndrome. And I think social media definitely played a part in the main character syndromization of people. Again, I was like this back in high school. I used to pretend to be that fucking mysterious anime protagonist with special abilities and try to stay silent the whole time because I thought that was how you get bitches and draw them harems, right? It's crazy, dog. You know what? I blame the internet for that. Especially when you're in the Philippines, bro. It was a time where not many people were especially skilled or was terminally online. So whoever can search the internet the best or knows the most basic trivia questions ever or trivia facts ever that they got off from the one 9gag post that they scrolled through 5 hours ago, they were perceived as the smartest or the most OP learner. You get perceived as this god, this main character. That happened to me back in high school again. So I developed main character syndrome so much because I was, quote, the smartest person in the room. And the time, it
purely
was
from
okay.
purely off of absorbing stuff from the internet.
True, exactly. It was okay at the time, I think, because back then only a few people had main character syndrome. Only a few people were terminally online and like maybe got their ego inflated by the internet, spewing bullshit that everybody agreed to. But now, since everybody uses the internet, everyone is obsessed with being the center of attention, bro. And usually what I've noticed,
Preach.
yeah. Usually, what I've noticed though these days is that people that have main character syndrome are the pampered people who grew up either privileged or conventionally attractive, where everyone just praises them, right? So somewhere in the upper middle class, yeah, And I don't know if I was the one that came up with the decision to basically just make them ugly, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So the sentence that DN said when I asked him about what he would do to these people. Wait, do you want to read it out?
Okay, yeah, no, do it. Put it on the screen.
Sorry,
Oh,
the stream's lagging a little bit, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, you're good. But yeah, basically, it's basically just make them ugly. Like remove the one thing that they are so proud to be the main character of. Jesus.
the funniest
Again,
thing is just like you just introduce like the most easily implemented like hardship that you can in somebody's life. Just make them ugly.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, right? Because like again, you take away somebody's quote power or the reason why they think they're the main character, boom, they're not gonna be the main character anymore. You just turn them ugly.
Oh,
Yeah,
you just
like objectively ugly.
you just make their cosmetic surgeons like the same people who did character designs for Concord and Dustborn.
Oh my god, so true. Holy shit, we just do that, right? Yeah. That's gonna be so base.
No,
But that's basically my punishment.
I can
for them.
100% see this like actually working. And again, not saying that this is something we would do if we were given power, but in a hypothetical, right? In hypothetical. If you could
In
snap
theory.
your fingers, in theory, yeah. If you could
Okay.
snap your fingers and every single person with main character syndrome just becomes ugly, I really do feel like the sudden change would cure that syndrome in quite a lot of people who have it.
Oh no, I agree. I think it's a really good. I think it's a really good and poetic solution.
Yeah, for
Just turn
sure.
them ugly. Yeah. I mean, in general, if you want to be broad, right? Like, take away whatever privilege that they have. If if they think they're the main character because they're rich, they're a fucking trust fund baby. Take away their money. But in general, it's mostly the good-looking people. I would think. Yeah.
True. I mean,
But
it's just like having common like these. It's just about having like, I suppose, common traits, but no hardship or anything to have to develop a character that you base your sense of self off of. That
True.
exists independently of those traits. But yeah.
yeah, it would be really, really funny. Even what was the next one that I said here? Actually, you know what? I actually kind of have forgot all the most of the things that I said.
No, that's
But
fine.
if you, yeah,
I can just
No,
just
that's-
list them out for you.
hell yeah,
The
that's good. Because if I
The next one,
Okay.
this is really topical as well. The next group of people that the DN talked about when we were just talking about what groups of people piss us off. You brought up public nuisance streamers.
Oh, that is so fucking true. In a way, it's kind of like an extension to main character syndrome people.
True.
Right? But then, in a sense, where public nuisance streamers are more so attention seeky. If we want to think about it a little more. They're in general. I just don't like people that are attention seeking motherfuckers. I hate them. Right? I get clout chasing by making engagement bait tweets. I get clout chasing by covering drama. I get clout chasing by copying whatever. I get it. You're not harming anyone in a tangible way, right? But when you just annoy fucking innocent people who are just trying to go to work, do their thing, or go to school, or do their like whatever, I think they're the worst type of content creators in the internet, and I dislike them more than the people with main characters. Yeah,
Fair.
it's because because it's like of all the things that you could think of, you would rather publicly annoy people. Like I genuinely think these sorts of people are mentally ill. Like these are the sorts of people who has not developed any sort of shame at all. These kids have not been beaten to death, to near death by their dads or something. Bro, these were the kids that were not spanked. These were the kids that have never encountered any sort of negative opposition by their parents. They have parental issues, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, Jesus, the extreme lack of common decency is an absolute failure of their parents. And, you know, sometimes the parents are to blame. Sometimes it's just them. Most of the time, it's a bit of a half and half. But in general, I don't like the fact that they exist. I still watch their content.
Oh.
No, yeah, no.
What draws
That's
you
the
in
thing,
about
right?
are you watching them because you're like on the edge of your seat hoping that one of the people they annoy ends up like snapping?
Yeah, I want somebody, like, for example, who's that guy that goes in Japan and just screaming?
Johnny Somali.
Yeah, I want that guy to go seek help. I was gonna say something weird. Then.
I want that guy.
I want that guy to grow and change as a person. That's all. Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen the photo of like a hospital in Finland that has the initials KYS?
Bro, that's crazy. What do they do? Does it mean
What do they do?
that I think it is?
It's just
Does it mean what I think
a
it means?
normal hospital that happens to have initials that are KYS. So something that I've started
That's actually
doing.
kind of funny.
Something that I've
That's kinda-
started doing with my mods is instead of saying like, you know, end, I just say finish hospital and they instantly understand what I mean.
Oh my god. That's a meme around you guys now, huh?
Uh,
Interesting.
But yeah, these
Holy
these
shit.
people really do deserve finish hospital in my opinion. And yeah, the
True.
sentence that Nousagi has
Also-
signed. Honestly, okay, I'm not gonna lie. When you told me this sentence, I thought
Yeah?
it was kind of light. I'm not gonna lie.
What do you mean? What did I say?
You said
What did I say?
1 month without internet as the sentence for being a public nuisance streamer.
That's what I said?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm dumb. No, man, make it a year. Holy
1
shit.
year.
Wait, no, actually, no. Change it.
Okay.
Change it. Let's
Yeah.
change it. It's gonna be a 12-hour session where their parents come back from the dead and beat them the fuck up for being failures.
12 hours
Let's go.
of
Yeah, no, seriously.
mandatory parental abuse.
True. And after the 12-hour ends, and then the parent, after the 12 hours end, right, and the
Yeah.
child realizes that, oh my god, I am so sorry, mom, please love me again. The parents just die again. So he you know, so yeah.
I'll just put in brackets necromancy.
So true. So real.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like, these people need some kind of some sort of divine punishment. Something that'll really rattle them, in my humble opinion. But yeah, again,
Honestly, I don't
not a
even
call to
think that,
action.
you know.
But yeah, sorry?
Yeah, true. No, exactly what you said. It's not a call to action. We're just memeing here. We're just joking, right?
Yep,
Wink,
satire,
wink, 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 wink.
satire.
I like to think that some people in the world, bros, like, you know, some people need to get beat the fuck up. I'm gonna be real with you. You know, like, it's some people just don't like the idea of like hurting other people. But then it's like we have to remember that's actually what like really important key parts of why some people, it's not for everybody, but it's definitely what a lot of people need, right? It's like some people need to get bullied. Unfortunately, that's the
I
thing.
genuinely do feel like hardship is like an essential factor in actually
Exactly.
crafting like a tolerable personality in like any individual person. Like,
Exactly.
if you just have a
Exactly.
cushy life from the moment you are born, and if you never have parents that will, you know, impress on you the meaning of responsibility and sometimes failure and loss, you will just grow up to be the most, well, the worst human being. The worst kinds of human being.
True. Speak your facts, brother. And that's coming from somebody that was not necessarily beaten half to death, but was severely beaten. Hey man, I developed a relatively good personality. I mean, aside from the fact that I grew up fucking thinking I was an anime protagonist, I was Kirito, right? Wearing Assassin's Creed hoodies all the time because I thought that was mysterious, and everybody, like, I thought the girls, whenever I passed by them, would just, you know, come gallons thinking, oh my god, so mysterious, I want to fuck him. What secrets lie beneath those velvet robes, brother? Jesus, it's so cringe.
It's
But
okay.
hey, man.
You got better. You got better. You
True,
received
and you know how
Finnish hospital. Yeah.
And you know how I got better? I
How?
got bullied. I got fucking bullied. It's only when I got bullied that I learned the error of my ways, and now I recommend it to a lot of people.
Go get bullied.
True. No, bro, it's facts. It is what it is.
These are one of
Anyway,
the
what-
moments where I'm so glad that I'm streaming on YouTube and not Twitch, because knowing Twitch the way that they've been enforcing things recently, they'll like hear us using the word bully and should in the same sentence, and the auto mod will probably just fuck me on the spot.
Wait, oh yeah, holy shit. Bro, I've been missing a lot of Twitch news.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a slog to get through. It's just a constant wave of like them fucking people up.
True, holy shit. So, oh, never mind. I was like, oh god, maybe last week I was actually thinking of moving to Twitch for my main streams. No, this time I'm not so sure anymore.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking on Twitch as an addition to YouTube. It's just don't hop from one to the other, because that's
Nah.
yeah.
True. I mean, I actually, the more I think about it, I actually don't like the idea of simulcasting. I feel like I don't give my Twitch chatters enough attention.
You don't want one of them to be the neglected child.
True. I mean, bullying the chat is way better than neglecting them. Am I right? Yes, man. Exactly. Look, it is what
Mutual
it is.
bullying is just banter. That's the peak. That's peak bullying.
Yeah, that's like bros. What bros do, man? To hang out, fucking just banter. Call the other person all sorts of slurs, call them insults, and then they say it back. Punch each other in the face.
True.
Yeah, that's what men do.
If
Yeah.
you if you both punch one another, the force cancels itself out. So you, at the end of the day, you're both fine.
Real. So true. So real. Wait, what was the next character that I put
The
up
next
here?
one that this one I can very thoroughly relate with as well. You put Slacktivists.
Oh god. Okay, did you already explain to chat why we don't like them?
I mean, I explained for. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a bit of overlap with the boycotters, but I want to hear you go off on them of your own volition, because you could probably explain it better than me.
I mean, I don't know about explaining it better than me, but here's my thing, right? I don't know if this is a hot take, but in general, I don't care for opinions that are different from mine, right? So for example, let's say you don't want to play the wizard game, or you're actively boycotting the wizard game because you don't like the fact that J.K. Rowling is doing X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
Let's say you actually like what's a good example? Let's say you actually like Andrew Tate because he's a supporter of what masculinity used to be, or fucking whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right. Look, I don't care about those sorts of opinion. I think I don't care. Like I can respect that, right? Where I draw the line is when motherfuckers shove their opinions down your throat, morally grandstand, or call you a bad person for not supporting X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
Right? Like, you can complain about your issues. You can talk about how you're not satisfied with the status quo. You can say you don't like it. You can say all sorts of things, right? For example, you can complain about fucking whatever is McDonald's and Israel is doing right now. That's fine. I don't care about that. I can respect that. I generally want to live in a world where people can just express what they think, and people that support them will support them, and then the people that don't support them won't support them. But the moment you cross that line where you're harassing other people, or again, you're morally grandstanding or whatever, fuck that shit, bro.
Amen.
Yeah, like harassing and telling people they're bad people, harassing or telling people that they're bad people for supporting, for not supporting the Genshin Impact boycott, for example, for what's going on with not Gamergate. What's the thing? The Sweet Baby Inc. situation going on right now? Whatever, right? Yeah, those are the Slacktivists that I dislike.
Fair.
In general, yeah. In general, I don't care for people that have their own opinions about certain things, even if we disagree with it, right? Again, I like to think we can live in a world where we can live with people whose opinions we disagree with, and where they and we can advertise their support for it, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Even, you know why? Because at least they have a belief that they stand for. Yeah.
This might be
It's
a
when they
hot
get-
take, but
Yeah.
personally, I miss subtle propaganda. I miss when people would not try to, like, you know, be all up in your face and tell you what you need to believe and stuff, and simply just advertise their own beliefs very, very effectively. Like,
True.
if they would just attract you to their cause instead of trying to force their cause onto you. That's the kind of, like, persuasiveness that comes along with these movements that I miss nowadays. Because nowadays it's so much about just showing off how devoted you are to a cause or a group or whatever. And we've lost all of that, you know, that understanding of the need for persuasiveness and, you know,
Whoa.
subtlety. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to a fundamental idea that you need to respect the consent of the people who you want to engage with your, like, views, essentially. Where, I mean, this is something I've talked about, like, multiple times before on my streams, but consent is grossly undervalued in all aspects of life outside of sex. Like, everyone understands how consent works if you're talking about a sexual situation, right? You know, if you say no, that means no. I'm just gonna, I'll fuck myself, I guess. Like, everyone understands that logic, right? But for some reason, when it comes to the idea of, like, engaging with, like, certain conversations, certain discussions, certain topics, certain beliefs, everyone forgets that no means no. That when people tell you they don't want to do something, you should probably listen to them. And that's just such a... it's such a stupid thing, because if your whole movement revolves around needing to get support from other people, why, of all the things you could do, why would you try to force anything onto the people who you want to listen to you? It's just such a stupid... It's just such a stupid and short-sighted way of going about any sort of, like, rhetoric or persuasion.
But Armchair, you're a bad person if you don't support my beliefs.
True.
I'm right, you're wrong. Fuck off.
It goes hand in hand with just, like, pointing fingers and calling them, like, an ist or a phobe or a whatever.
True. That's the problem with Slacktivists right now. Again, activists in general, like, you know, I have my own political and, like, principles and values. They have their own. As long as we can tackle it in a very civilized, respectful, and actually engaging way, where we talk about, you know, the argument itself rather than whatever isms that we call them by. Like, that's fine with me. It's when they actually just step out of line that I don't like.
Oh,
and
yeah, wait. Baka Nikujaga in chat. But you can't performatively virtue signal if it's subtle. That's the thing. I just realized that,
I
like...
think you can. I think, actually, you know, can I interject?
No, yeah, sure.
I think historically speaking, most of the subtle propaganda in history, well, maybe not most, but like a lot of it, are actually like performative. For example, that one guy who starved himself in order to make, like, who was it? Was it not? It wasn't Gandhi.
Is this Gandhi?
Yeah, it may have been Gandhi. I forgot. Somebody that either burned or starved himself to tell the British that they're hurting them, and then the British actually backed the fuck off.
Oh, I don't think
Right?
if you're talking about yeah, I don't think it's burning himself. I think he just starved himself.
Oh yeah, true.
Burning
yeah,
himself
you know,
would have
shit
been
like
very
that.
short-lived.
Bro, Jesus Christ fucking killing himself on the cross in order to make people believe him. That's
Sure.
I mean, if you're a Christian, you even you have to agree that's kind of performative, right? Holy shit, what a show!
No, yeah,
off.
for sure.
Yeah.
Although I will say one thing is that in the case of these people, right, their performances were solo ones, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's I think that's the main difference, because the difference between that kind of performative activism and the kind of performative activism that we have nowadays is that modern day performative activism aims at performing not to the person that you want to persuade, but to a third party audience that you assume to be there. And I think that that's just a natural result of doing all of this over social media. Because with social media, you always assume that there's going to be an audience. So instead of trying to convert someone, you just turn them into a target that you can use to perform to another audience that you assume to be there.
Yeah.
And it's just
Anyway,
ruined
what
the
were you
whole,
about to say?
But yeah, no, that was it. That was it. It was just, people nowadays, when they want to perform activism, even though it's not like, performing is not itself a problem when you're trying to convince someone to believe something. So long as they have the choice to just look at your performance and say, that's shit, I don't want any part in this. But the problem is, I really do think that the problem nowadays is that you're not performing to the person you're trying to convince. You're using the person you're trying to convince, in theory at least, to perform to an audience that you assume to be there.
I think it's more so because the protests, the slacktivism protests that we are seeing on the internet right now, they don't have real meaning to it.
Yeah, and to some degree, I think it's because they don't have stakes attached to it either.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
like,
we already
like you
talked
said,
about this,
right? The two examples you gave, Gandhi had to starve himself, Jesus had to die. Like, I don't think you can get higher in terms of personal stakes than that. But like,
I see a lot of comments in the chat saying that's not performative. It depends on what you're. Okay, let's define performative here. I'm sure. What do you think performative means?
I mean, performative, in simplest definition of the word, just to put on a performance. Hold on.
Exactly.
Let me look at.
My personal definition of performative, at least from what I've seen, are basically any performative activism rather is any meaningful or significant action that shows that you are in support of a certain cause or belief. So even something like killing yourself or starving yourself, to me, constitutes as performative.
Actually, yeah, performative. Actually, better way of defining it would probably be to act, right?
Yeah,
and then we can start to draw distinctions between, well, I suppose, artificial performance, bad faith performance, disingenuous performance. But fundamentally, performative itself means action, or to act.
Exactly.
Or to act in an observable manner.
Yeah. The reason why I think the reason why performative to you guys don't register the way with that same weight is because performative activism is now being relegated to just useless actions in Twitter that don't actually mean or hold any weight. Like fucking whining about it on Twitter. What's that gonna fucking achieve?
True.
Right? Like that's kind of that is in of itself performative. Like going in the streets and yelling X, Y, and Z is performative. But the weight and the stakes and the whatever is different. But categorically speaking, they're all still performative. Yeah.
Yeah. Trebet in chat, performative just sounds insincere. That is, I mean, that's understandable, right? It's understandable that performative, the word, sounds like a bad thing, but that's mostly, I would say, because of the way that it is used nowadays.
Exactly.
Because when you describe something as performative, I mean, like, this even the way that you were just using it just then, DN, it was mostly just like to describe when someone is doing something in an insincere way, or because someone is like faking something with the intention of being observed rather than actually accomplishing something.
Oh, but I guess it's just the modern definition being like.
It's like the definition getting ruined by the connotation.
Like feminism, right? Let's go.
And the sentence that you came up with.
Man.
Actually, I'll just read it aloud. 24 hours of mandatory viewing of documentaries about worldwide tragedies that have nothing to do with the United States.
not even just the United States, because I see this everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Because the issues that the United States in general like show out there to the world gets absorbed by other countries. Even other countries are starting to care and actually involve themselves more so towards American politics more than the politics of their own goddamn country. Like, why the fuck do Filipinos care about what's going on in fucking America? No, man, worry about what's happening in your own goddamn country. What the hell is wrong with you?
True.
Jesus.
There's an actual. I mean, I'm not sure if you've like seen this or heard this before, but like, this is actually like a very real phenomenon that they taught us back in like media school, where that the issue with like pretty much every country having like American obsession syndrome comes from the fact that most of the forms of media that we use nowadays to simply communicate with one another comes from America in some way. Like, for example,
That makes sense.
Newspapers, the concept of having the press in your country, that is something that apparently originated in America. Most of the tech corporations that own the social media platforms we use are based in America as well. So everything kind of gets, everything like American kind of gets like trickled down to every other part of the world.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah. It sucks, but it is what it is. I think in
Yeah.
general, not just that too, because I feel like I don't know. The thing about these is, hold on, I'm trying to think of an even better poetic punishment for slacktivists. Actually, oh. Actually, wait, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Actually, have them be on site of the things that they say that they don't like. For example, right? Let's say they don't like. Let's say they don't. What's a good topic right now that a lot of people are activatism for? Or
I mean,
whatever the fuck
recently
it
we
is.
had the whole Uki thing where his fan base got on his ass for eating a McDonald's.
What? Oh, okay. Let's see. The people, okay, so in general, people that are in support of the whole McDonald's thing,
Yeah.
they actually are going to go to Palestine or Israel and watch and live in the war there. Yeah, man. Hey, you say you don't, yeah, you know, shit like that. Yeah. I'm blanking on my words right now. but yeah.
Relocation to origin point of social conflict.
True. I mean, like I said, right? I'm gonna reiterate this. If you, for example, do want to actually boycott Israel or Starbucks or McDonald's or whatever, that's fine. Again, I respect that. I can respect that. I may not agree with it, but like, you're not gonna be in my bad books. You're not even gonna be in my indifferent books. I'm still gonna be friends with you. You're still gonna be good in my shoes, whatever. It's when you actually call other people bad people for not supporting it too.
Yep.
For shoving that shit down other people's throat. That's when I don't like you.
Yep.
But yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
What's the next one that we put up?
The
sorry.
next one, I mean, the next one,
Yeah.
one of the ones that I had up was, well, actually, this is something that we both would probably share as like a pet peeve, but VTweeters.
Oh God. Okay. Have you shared your thoughts about this already?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to go first? Let's go
Sure.
you go first.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, what else do you what sums up like VTweeters aside from like these three things? This is like basically the starter pack. But basically, again, the thing that part of me understands why VTweeters like exist, because again, you just want that quick dopamine hit of getting some sort of affirmation via Twitter, or just extending your reach via Twitter. But the problem is that with almost all VTweeters, their dream, their ambition is to make it on a platform that is not Twitter. And the entire time that I'm just watching them like go round in circles in this permanent pursuit of clout. It just seems so pointless, so much of a waste of time and effort. And on the occasions when you get a VTweeter that has nothing better to do than make Google Docs instead of content, it makes me want to pull my hair out, because that Google Doc, that call-out post, could have been the script for a YouTube video that they could have made in the same amount of time that it takes them to find something worth calling out about someone who they probably don't even know in real life. And again, it's just... Yeah, it is the biggest thing that bothers me about VTweeters is just the fact that it seems like such a waste of effort.
True, but to be fair, I'm gonna give them an olive branch here, Armchair.
Yep.
Being a VTweeter right now can actually make you serious money.
Oh, true.
Bro, the whole Twitter monetization thing, it's like...
It's such an awful way...
It's like... I mean,
like,
if it pays the bills,
I know
it pays
that,
the
like,
bills, right?
I know that in theory, it's like no different to the way that like YouTube or Twitch run monetization, because at the end of the day, it's all about engagement. But at the same time, the meta that you do that on Twitter, where you just say the most obviously dog shit opinion possible in the hopes of making people angry, it's just such a predatory way of, like, you know, basically leeching off of people's inability to leave stuff they don't like to see alone. And it's just such a... ugh.
Okay, so yeah, it's weird. Me personally, it's similar to the whole Slacktivists things, right? I don't think all VTweeters are bad, right? It's like saying that I don't like X, Y, and Z. I mean, I don't want to generalize, right? It's mostly just the ones that bitch about others, and like you said, fucking NVTubers, ENVTubers, pre-debut hell for like 9 months and never has any something content, and they bitch about being better than other people or are jealous of other people, jealous of other successes while not having their own content. That shit is annoying. Like, me personally, right, I don't know how you can have the balls to be jealous of not having the same success of say someone like Regis Altare, right? If you're just some guy in the internet tweeting and not doing anything, like, bro, fuck off. Like, I can respect... No, seriously. Look, I can respect being jealous because you've been grinding on content every week since 2021, right? Meanwhile, it's easy for John YouTuber to climb the ranks because he fucking, I don't know, AI generates and voice Reddit threads from r/am I the asshole, right? Like, maybe you're a VTuber who's been around from 2020 and some guy who started 3 months ago is getting more subs than you because he did a donathon or he did a subathon and like he got noticed by Iron Mouse or something, right? Like, I can respect that more because it does happen. I get that jealousy. It's super unfair that it happens to them even.
It's what happens. No, go on.
Oh, sorry. It's just what happens with when and if that jealousy and how it develops and what you do with it that matters. Like, you know, it's whether or not you can use that jealousy or that drive to motivate you even further or something. Not making content at all and bitching that you're not successful and you're stuck in VTuber Twitter pre-debut hell for 9 months. Like, fuck off. I don't care that you've spent 4K I don't care that you spent like 4K on your model and if you only stream like once a week. I don't care that you spent 10K hours setting up your streams and buying all these games if like you're not appearing on streams at all or are just fucking talking and without doing anything else. Like, yeah, of course you're not gonna fucking succeed as a fucking VTuber, right? Yeah. It's crazy. Anyway,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say that, like, you and me, we sound like we have pretty much like the same reason, which is just waste of time and effort. Like, if you're not doing anything with whatever you have, whether that be spite or something else, in my opinion, again, I've always said this, but spite and vitriol make for great motivators, but you have to make sure that you save it up and you channel it into the right things. It's a bit like the way that I've put it in the past is, channeling your spite into content is a bit like nutting, where after you let it out, you have a refractory period where you can't use it again until you build up enough spite to use it again for like something
Bro,
else.
that's crazy.
No, if you think
That's
about it though,
crazy.
that's how it works.
No,
Because
you're
you pretty
right.
much you
Yeah.
just build up resentment or like spite towards something that bothers you, right? And then you let it out because that's normal human behavior. You have to channel it towards something, right? Whether it be an angry tweet, whether it be to a death threat via email, whether it be to like a video essay or whatever. And as long as you channel it into something, usually that'll be enough to give you that dopamine hit where you don't feel like you need, or dopamine or serotonin hit, whichever one it is, where you don't feel like you need to do anything anymore after you've put it into something. And then you wait until you build it up again from some other source of irritation. And that's pretty much it. And when you look at people like this, it's just people who are constantly nutting too soon, you know?
True. You know what? The more I think about it, yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah,
Interesting,
post-tweet
interesting.
clarity, exactly.
Jesus. No, I mean, you're right. Oh, I guess another type of V-tweeter that I don't like are the ones that talk about politics. I mean, it happens a lot. No, man, seriously, it does happen a lot. It's crazy. It really is.
I feel like
Yeah.
politics in general has just like degenerated as a discussion point where nowadays we never have like intellectual discussions about actual politics. It's more just shouting about how your team is better than everyone else's team. And it's just such a brain dead way of going about it.
Yeah, that's
But-
why I don't participate. That's why, like, that's why it's safer for most VTubers to never participate in it, right?
Oh yeah, for
Or-
sure.
Or even if you do participate in it in a way that's not exclusionary of any demographics.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's a very volatile category of or topic, right? That's why you really have to be careful about navigating through that goddamn minefield. It's
Man,
basically there's a reason why it's a rule.
every
Yeah.
American election year, you can guarantee that there will be some creators that just end up stepping into a minefield because they've got like hoods over their eyes or something.
True.
Uh,
I mean, it happened this year, right?
yeah,
The whole
yeah,
fucking
it
Trump
did.
assassination thing. Yeah,
oh.
that's crazy.
Although I'm one of the morbid things about the fact that there has been more than one assassination attempt is being able to observe the character progression in some of these creators, where the second time that it happens, they don't make the same stupid mistake. But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no. I get you.
But yeah, the Nousagi, the sentence that you made for V-tweeters, pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. 140 hours mandatory streaming to be done over the course of 1 month.
Oh, that's true. I did. I remember that. Oh my god. Yeah. No, 100%. Make them work on it, bro. I'm doing this for their own good. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah,
Like, like this is not a punishment. This is a rehabilitation. Like we have to like chat. You have to understand that. Like
this is Twitter
they need
rehab.
This is my version of some people being. You know when I said earlier that some people need to be bullied.
Yep.
Well, some VTubers need to start streaming. That's all. They're gonna learn a lot from it, even.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like in nature where the way that young birds learn to fly is their parent tossing them out of the nest.
True, exactly. Through opposition, you have growth. Hard
Yeah.
men create. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is that little cringe saying that you fucking see on Facebook inspiration posts?
I think it's something
Strong men.
like good times create weak men, and like I don't know, weak men.
Yeah.
like
Weak men
something like
create
that.
hard times.
Yeah,
hard
yeah,
times
yeah, that
create
one,
strong men,
yeah,
You know, yeah. It's fucking weird. The end's punishments are actually less unhinged than I expected. Well, it's because I'm not a hateful person, spag sauce. Most of the time when I want to punish somebody, it has to have some sort of poetic justice into it, while at the same time rehabilitating the other person. Like, you know.
Yeah. At the end, I mean, the core of all punishment is some form of rehabilitation, right?
Exactly. Like I'm not evil. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a bad person, or at least I would like to think I'm not, right? I shit post a lot, but tee yeah, exactly. What's the next one that I wrote?
The next one might change people's minds about what you just said.
Wait, what?
This one, closed-minded people.
Oh my god. You see, it's such a broad thing.
Yeah.
And I feel, and if I remember, if I'm going to try and dig up my memory, I did that intentionally because, in general, I don't like people who refuse to listen. Because it's these sorts of people that are the most self-righteous motherfuckers that I have ever seen online and IRL. They are so sure of their beliefs, so dug in, so drunk off of their own cocaine, their own smoothie, their own Slurpee, that they think that they're right and everybody that doesn't think so is wrong. Like, this is the final boss of people that actually makes the world a better place, a worse place, rather.
I've said this on stream before, and this is like, this is like my personal like red flag take, where I genuinely believe that people like that who cannot, who one, refuse to admit when they get something wrong, and two, think themselves above everyone else. I genuinely think that those people are like less evolved human beings. They are like subhuman. And it's
whoa.
Because if you think about it, right, like the thing that makes us human is our ability to recognize that we exist as a being in the world, or essentially, in other words, that we are not the center of the world. If you take that away from someone, then by logic, they are no longer a complete human being. So.
Oh, I getcha. Okay, I can vibe with that. Holy shit, you're so actually right, though. Yeah, in general, these sorts of people just suck, man.
Yeah,
they really do. And I could go on and on about this, but I think the close-mindedness is very broad. I can't go any specifics to it because it applies to different bunches of different types of people. Right, it applies to everything. Like, for example, we talked about VTweeters. Well, I mean, you tell a fucking VTweeter to stream, they're not gonna listen to you because they have X, Y, and Z reasons, right?
To be fair, though, there are some VTweeters that are currently working on making the transition. I have seen some of them.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's good.
Whenever I see a VTuber actually like show off a model or like actually make like a video where they like talk in it, then I'm like, oh, there's light at the end of the tunnel. They are no longer going to be doomed to VTweeter hell.
True. In general, oh my god. Yeah, I just don't, no, 100%. So now what's up? What did I say?
The punishment that DN gave. When I asked him, okay, what would you do to close-minded people as a way of fixing the problem? DN just said, the sentence would be just lobotomy.
Oh my god. No, wait. Actually, my past self was up to something.
Yeah.
Look, bro. If you're close-minded as fuck, you refuse to think, we take away your ability to think.
Fair enough.
Come on. Yeah, look, bro. You're not even gonna... if you're not gonna use that part of your brain ever, you might as well... You're better off not having it, right?
True. So, you might as well save yourself the resources.
Exactly. Open your mind, you know? So we literally open their minds, and then it's like poetic. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Just tickle them up the nose with like a really long metal stick, and they'll be fine the next morning.
Exactly. So it's a poetic justice, and it also has its own it's in a way it's still kind of rehabilitative. Yeah.
True.
We're gonna be happier with
Bring
it. Bring
lobotomies back.
True. Such a perfect fucking fix to a problem that okay, wait, no, I mean, I'm shit posting. I mean, obviously, I want you to know that lobotomy is a bad thing.
Yes.
Unless it's funny.
Yeah.
Unless it's funny.
It's only okay if it's a joke, Your Honor.
Yeah, true. Your Honor. It was just a joke. We were doing it for the meme.
True.
Yes. What's the next one in the
next one was the one that I had, which is this is like, again, this is kind of specific, but people who attempt to smear others via false allegations on social media. Basically, when you
Oh.
hit them with the no evidence
Google
Google
Doc?
Doc special, yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
I mean, this is just like, again, this is one of those behaviors that I think has only been enabled because of the way that people have adapted the way that they process information in response to social media platforms, where everyone has like an attention span of less than 15 seconds, and they are incapable of doing research and forming an opinion that is in a way that is divorced from their own personal experience. And this is just like, if you use this method of trying to, like, you know, smear somebody else, turning the, you know, just general public lack of attention span, as turning that into a weapon to wield against someone else, I'm sorry, you're just you are just a garbage. You are a garbage human being. Like that is probably one of the most predatory things you can do on two levels. One, the person that you're trying to smear. Two, just the public in general. Which is why this is such a repulsive thing whenever I see it happening.
You know, and as an extension to that, I suppose, you know, when an accusation drops and then 4 fucking people come out there with their own Google Docs about their experience with X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And some of their accusations are actually done in a way where it was consensual, or it wasn't as bad as they thought it was.
Yeah, like misrepresenting what actually happened to make it sound worse.
I see that a lot everywhere, bro. Even here in VTubing, it's actually crazy. Holy
we
crap.
agreed to ERP. It was all consensual. They have screenshots of this. Oh, but I was forced against my will. Like, come on.
I guess psychologically, it's kind of interesting to like look at it, right? To study it.
The thing that always bothers me about, like, you know, when someone, and again, I'm not saying that every single Google Doc that comes out is wrong or like made up or false, but in the occasions where these docs come out and then it's later proven through things like actual screenshots, through recordings, through, like, you know, third-party testimonials, stuff like that. Whenever these false allegations, whenever these smear campaigns are dismissed, one of the things that always irritates me to no end is that the correction, the amendment, will never, ever get attention comparable to the original accusation. And it's just such a...
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like you think it's part of a mob mentality, sort of. No, maybe not necessarily mob mentality. Like, what's that thing where you just want to not double down, like you just want to shoot a fucking dead horse, or you beat up with a stick, or what's the saying there called?
Beating a dead horse?
Yeah, with a stick.
Shooting a dead horse.
I feel like that's... Oh no, not Rima. Oh my god, not Rima.
Rima's not a dead one.
Well, she's a horse.
True,
Close enough.
True and real.
Yeah. Basically, I think it's just an extension of that. I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
the punishment? Yeah. So some people in chat have been pointing out, like, you know, have Morgan Freeman narrate their lives, etc., etc. This one is a little bit more, I suppose, a little more sadistic. The sentence for people who attempt to smear others via false allegations on social media is: every post made for the next 18 months must be captioned with addressing the allegations, while linking to a Google Doc that contains the actual message on its second page. And again, this is meant to do two things. One, deadens people to that specific person uttering the words allegations. And two, it corrects the short attention span problem by, instead of, you know, exploiting it, being forced to endure it. Because now, for anyone to actually hear what you're saying or read what you're saying, they have to make a commitment of more than 15 seconds to find what it is you are trying to say. And if this was something that could actually be applied... Yeah, this is basically a free community note. But this is such a... I really do like it amuses me to no end the idea of having someone who's who's attempted to do just this to smear somebody else via false allegation. If the next day literally all of their posts, because they usually tend to be really terminally online people, literally all of their posts are just addressing the allegations over and over and over again. That would be so funny.
So giving it the whole the boy who cried wolf sort of effect.
Exactly. They're just stuck crying wolf the entire time for 18 months. And by the time that's over, either they've learned to actually tell the truth, or people will just stop paying attention.
What make you have to I mean, I saw a little Google Doc, a Google Doc battle between Senzi and one other VTuber, Vane or something.
I saw that floating around. I haven't read either document.
Yeah, same. I haven't either. But you have to kind of wonder, right? Like, what motivates people to actually release these Google Docs? I mean, I understand if it's something criminal or if that's something super traumatizing, but I'm not saying that this is what actually happened between these two. It's just that I've seen this a lot. But you have to wonder what prompts a certain person to release a Google Doc if the most that person did is just basically make them uncomfortable.
It's basically the trap of you start off with a caption that grabs someone's attention, and then in your Google Doc you start the first few pages with describing how hurt you are, and then at the end you come to the actual thing that happened to you and you say thank you for your time. Lamau gets baited, pretty much.
True, because I've read a lot of Google Docs. Some of them I don't cover because they're the pettiest shit ever, cheating on me because we were dating for 3 months, and what? No, shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
I ERP'd with a different person.
True. This person hurt this person severely hurt me because he fucking I don't know.
To be fair, I do think that if we snapped our fingers and Discord was deleted tomorrow, the number of Google Docs that would be going up on Twitter would drop by half. I think a lot of these things do stem from just the fact that Google Docs are a really easy medium to use if you want to express how emotionally impacted you've been by something. And when it comes to these kinds of interpersonal relationship dramas, they are almost always going to be a larger source of emotional distress, trauma that you can share than just a casual interaction that you had with someone else via DM or something.
True. Then again, they can always just do that over on YouTube and actually earn a lot of money, right?
True.
Think about it, let's say theoretically, Parrot, for example, Parrot 4chan says, quote, addressing the Rima even stars allegations, and then it's just a whole fucking 20-minute video exposing or bro, he could milk the ever-living fuck out of that. No, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that he's gonna do it, but in general, people who actually, living in that theoretical world where Discord gets deleted, I feel like we'd make it even worse. I mean,
okay.
It's
that's fair
bro,
enough.
because we have to think about it in a way that's actually kind of their containment measure. When Tumblr, remember when Tumblr got fucked?
Yeah.
Deleted all the porn and they all migrated to Twitter?
Yeah.
Bro, we can't have something like that happen again. We can't have
That's
refugees from other websites invade the cultures of other platforms.
All the Discord mods and e-kittens escaping containment.
Yeah, that would be the worst if I'm gonna be real.
That's true. That's true. Again,
So,
I want to clarify, we are not referring to all Google Docs.
There are actually serious ones.
Exactly. And sometimes when you have a character limit on a website, but you just want to get information out there, if you genuinely do feel like you have a dangerous individual on your hands that cannot be prosecuted by law because of the fact that perhaps they live in a different country, then I understand using a Google Doc to get that information across. However, for the more frivolous, the more petty, the outright false uses of this medium, this is what I genuinely think that you deserve if you do that.
I mean, if it's just some problem that you can privately settle, or you can just avoid that person. Like they haven't done anything necessarily criminal or like, in a way that can endanger other people. Like, no, fuck off. Like, Jesus. Fuck off. In general, that's what I think.
Agreed.
But yeah.
The next one. This one was one that you had, which is just two-faced people.
Oh, that's super vague. Did I actually write that? Holy crap, I'm so cringe.
No, you can. That's fine. Feel free to like specify if you want.
I mean, in general, I just don't like the fact that defining two-faced isn't necessary. Chat. Okay, here's the thing. Two-faced doesn't necessarily mean treating the other person in a certain way and then behind the backs shit talking them. I don't think that's two-faced. I think, like, to a certain extent, if you don't like somebody, but you have to act with them in a way that's like professional, because let's say maybe you're colleagues or maybe you need to work together for a greater goal that's beyond your petty squabbles, like, right, that happens, right? You don't need to like the other person just to work with them. What I mean is basically like people who pretend to be your friend but is actually working against you.
Yep.
And the reason I think the reason why I said this isn't because of any other like grand reason that I noticed in a lot of like content creators or even like people that I see on social media. It's more so people that I've personally experienced. I've seen that a lot, honestly. Like other people just using other people for stepping stones for their own shit.
Yeah.
And then like, it's weird. And actually actively plotting their downfall, or at least helping with it, right? Like that's kind of cringe, man. Like, but then again, this is the entertainment industry, right? To a certain extent.
I hate that like being the default like logic behind it as well. Like, oh, we're all entertainers and we share like similar audiences, so this is just part of business. Like, I understand that it is part of business. I just hate it.
Yeah, and I don't know how to deal with it.
Honestly,
I don't know how to
something that I wish people in this industry would normalize is doing like Logan Paul KSI type shit, where if they actually like dislike someone or hate them, instead of just feeling that way and acting as such behind their back, you just publicize it and you turn it into an event that both of you can benefit off of. I feel like that would be so much better than what is currently the norm. Can you imagine if you just had like if you had like two indies that, instead of having to pretend to be friends with one another and then like 5 months later a Google Doc drops, if you just had like, if they would have like, for example, just like roasting sessions, like public, essentially public shit talking sessions from one to the other, and they would just have like this ongoing beef where both of them would turn it into a performance for their audiences. Not like
they'd probably be friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like not like, not this sort of sneaky asking your audience to like mass report their videos or streams or whatever, but actually just putting on a show for both of their audiences. Like actually doing what wrestlers do. Like kayfabe
actually become isn't that what happened to Logan Paul and KSI or something? Right?
Yeah, I mean that's what they started off doing, right? They basically disliked one another, then they turned it into an event, and now they're business partners because it worked out so well for them.
Yeah, I feel like if people just do that, maybe the world would be a much more happier place.
Baka Nikujaga, so rapper fights. Yeah, the problem with Shizzy is that he's when you do a rapper fight, you need to make sure you actually select your opponent with like half a brain. The problem with Shizzy is he walked into a space and the rapper fight he initiated was with everyone else in that space. If we just had people do that, but like in a more intelligent manner, I feel like that would actually be banger content.
True. I mean, VTuber boxing match when?
VTuber boxing match. That would actually be perfect, because then both of the people who hate one another would have to like face docs to one another. So then both of them have equal ammunition at the end of the day. It's just an equal
True.
playing field. So you don't have any of the sneaky behind the back shit that is currently the norm. You just have your good classic face to face fight.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I think you're up to something.
VTubing is just wrestling, but without the fighting in front of audiences. I think it's about time we took the fighting to put in front of audiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I getcha.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And
But-
punishment, the punishment that you came up with. This was another
What
one
did
of
I
those
say?
one-word bangers where the sentence that Nousagi gave to two-faced people was just schizophrenia. What were you cooking?
Hey, man.
What were you
Bro.
cooking with that one?
Bro. Okay, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? I think it's poetic because if you're gonna pretend to be like good with other people, if you're gonna put out a different voice and say something else and like actually ruin and corrupt fucking other people's shit just because you don't like them and you print to like, you know, that whole shit where you're basically being two people at the same time to them, and it's
Yeah.
in a way that's weird and counterproductive and just makes everybody shit. You might as well have that sort of personality be internalized via schizophrenia. I'm gonna be real. Right?
So you
Yeah.
turn something that's just like a behavior or a choice into like an actual mental disorder.
True. Exactly. See, you get it.
I can see the logic behind that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Deserve even.
True. Oh, the next group of people. Okay, so the next one I had was creators who number shame other creators. And this goes both ways. Both creators who like number shame others for being smaller than them, and creators that dehumanize other creators just because they're larger than them. And regardless of which direction you're moving when you try to shame another creator by judging them by their numbers and judging them only by their numbers, it's just the same. It's the same logic because it's cringe either way. But
True.
I
I think
yeah.
it's like, I think the mentality for it, especially if it's a smaller creator dehumanizing a bigger creator, is the same mentality for the whole eat the rich sort of movement, right?
Yeah.
Because these people, they have all the money, they have all the friends, they have all these connections. They have all these resources that you don't have. You feel right, some sort of moral, not necessarily moral obligation, but like it's not a sin. You feel a little less shame thinking of them as less human, or even like begrudge, like causing their downfall or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe because you think that they deserve it, or because they're like bad, or fucking maybe it comes from jealousy or something. But I
Yeah.
think in general it's from the same thing.
It's
right?
just
It-
resentment at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of sad. I'm gonna be real with you because like I think this one also kind of hits a little bit closer to home to me, because I have friends, right,
Yeah.
who genuinely actually look down on me now because I'm a successful YouTuber. Yeah,
Damn.
it's I don't know if it's jealousy or something, but like, let's say I complain about X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
right? They always dismiss my feelings and say, "Hey, man, at least you're earning money. At least fucking, you know, you're going to all these sorts of things, right? Like, come on, man, your problems, like, nobody cares about your problems. You're just like, bro, that's how what? Like, come
Yeah.
on, like, what? Really? It's like, damn, that's crazy.
Nah,
I don't know how
that's-
to. I don't know
that's
how that's
fucked.
good.
No,
is kinda
that's
fucked.
fucked. Because again,
Yeah, it's
the
kinda
whole
fucked.
the whole point about like just, you know, in general, the problem with internalizing that kind of like way of looking at other people is that you forget that suffering is not a competition. Where you, like, for example, even if I mean, using the example you just gave, right? just because you are a YouTuber that is successful does not mean you are suddenly incapable of feeling pain or grief. And it's just like, whenever you see people adopting that kind of idea of like you said, like that eat the rich kind of mentality, it's just it's a fundamental inability to understand that, like, well, I guess just understand that, like, you know, you're still a human being. It's like it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, man.
To be fair,
And
though,
the whole...
oh wait, yeah, no, go on.
Oh no, I was about to say, and the counterpart to it, the whole fucking... You can go ahead first.
I was gonna
The
say,
counterpart.
like, everyone who has the eat the rich mentality, right? Anyone who says eat the rich unironically would not change their ability to, I suppose, look down on other people, even if you reverse their position with the person they currently look down on. Like, if you gave them all of the wealth in the world, like, I can't think of any way of putting it other than people who unironically believe in eating the rich are also the same kind of people who would not hesitate to spit on the poor. And
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that.
if you have real, like, morals and principles, someone who refuses to spit on the poor will also refuse to eat the rich. Because fundamentally it's the same principle of not judging people based off of what they have, essentially. And if you're
it's eat the
incapable
rich
of doing
until they
that,
become rich.
exactly, right? If you're incapable of doing that, then you're going to be incapable of it, regardless of which end of the spectrum you are currently on. So,
I guess to a certain extent, it extends to the whole close-mindedness and the whole thing that we talked about. It's this, and the whole slacktivism thing. It's just this sense of justice to them, you know, especially because, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of reasons why, there's a lot of actually good reasons as to why some people actually don't like billionaires that are actually taking advantage of like their workers and shit like that.
yeah.
There's a good reason, right? But we're talking about, like, right now, number shaming other creators, not the rich. But it's both of them have the same principles, but obviously, like, the repercussions and the whatchamacallit, the stakes behind them are different.
Yeah.
Number shaming other creators in general, I think that's just weird, man.
The thing that makes number shaming so much more annoying to me when it comes from creators, though, rather than just like people who are in the audience, is like, okay, if you're like an audience member, I don't condone number shaming, but I can kind of understand why a viewer would, like, you know, fall into this kind of like numbers kind of mindset, because at the end of the day, it's like kind of it's like when a team gets like, it's like a team sports thing where like, for example, a sports fan will get excited over the fact that their team has gotten bigger numbers than the other, right? And I can understand that kind of, like, you know, fanaticism in an audience member, but I cannot understand that when it comes from another creator. Like, if you are a creator yourself, you understand the requirements, the difficulties, the challenges, whatever, that come with making content. And then you look at another creator who's trying to do the same thing, and you number shame them. That's what I don't understand. That, like, if you're going to go at another creator, go at them for, like, I don't know, because they personally wronged you, or go at them because they exhibit bad practice and you want to discourage bad practice. Like, that's fine, but just because of their numbers, like, come on.
Yeah, it's, I don't know what I can, like, I don't know how I can honestly describe it, because I've never, I don't know what goes in on other people's minds when they think of this. Again, I just think it's the whole mentality of, it's really easy to judge people or identify their worth based off of their internet numbers, rather than, you know,
rather than
the
their,
things
like,
that they're actually saying.
experiences and, like, their, you know, their identity and stuff like that.
In general, yeah. It's like, it's weird. What did we say? What was the punishment for this?
The punishment that I came up with for creators who number shame other creators, their sentence is that they are forced to re-debut under the name Lumi or as a Demon King. They get to choose which one.
Oh my god.
And
What? I know the Lumi meme though. There's
this
like
works
a shit
in
ton
both
of
ways. Again, at the end of the day, it's mostly because I'm forcing them to commit SEO seppuku, where if they have to re-debut under either of these things, they're essentially fighting against, well, for people who are number shaming smaller creators, now they have to exist in the shadow of a more established creator or trope. For the people who are number shaming larger creators, they are now forced to empathize with them because they have to go through the sort of like, struggle to the top kind of journey that bigger creators had to go through. So either way, it works out as a sort of poetic lesson. What happened to Lumi? It's not anything that any individual Lumi has done. It's just the meme that there are so many VTubers that have the name Lumi that if you choose to debut under the name Lumi in today's day and age, you are basically committing SEO suicide.
Oh, I would actually argue, like, instead of Demon King, it's any cat girl VTuber. Think about it, right?
You need both ends though. Like, what if they're a male VTuber and they're doing this?
Oh, true. Yeah, male VTuber. Holy shit! How many? Oh, you're right. Never mind. You're right. There is so many Demon Lord VTubers.
Yep. Yeah.
That's males. It's not just Vox Akuma chat. It's not just Vox Akuma.
He's the most well-known one. He's the most prior to around like earlier this year, he was probably the most profitable one, but nowadays he might still be. It's just a little on the fence there about that. But yeah. Lumi is the John Doe of VTubing. Unironically. There are yeah?
I would honestly argue, especially if you're in the JP side, I mean, I know the Lumi shit. I know the Lumi and the Lumi memes, right? But it's anything with the word Neko in it. I don't know. Like Neko, not Nekomata. I mean, Nekomata can also apply, but literally anything with Kitsune or Neko in it. It's
Sure.
I don't know why people like those words. It's fucking the RE girls, honestly. Like the fucking. It's like the whole people that discovered League of Legends loved the concept of Ari and decided to embody her.
Yep.
It's weird. I mean, it's not weird. It's kind of cute. I'm gonna be real, but it's like Jesus.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
I mean, true. Can't argue with the success, honestly. But yeah. What's the next one?
The next one you had was just tourists.
Tourette's?
Tourists.
Oh, tourists.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so tourist. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
It's also similar to my whole opinion about the whole fucking Slacktivist thing, where I don't hate all tourists. I think there are quote tourists that are actually like, respectful to the industry. There are tourists who genuinely want to enjoy it. It's like the tourists that I don't like are imagine the Chinese, how Japanese people don't like Chinese tourists?
Yes. I don't think anyone likes Chinese tourists.
Yeah, exactly. It's the equivalent of that in VTubing, right? Where it's the type of people where they're not familiar with this space. They don't bother to learn anything about this place.
Yep.
They just take whatever customs, whatever traditions, whatever culture they have from this one entertainment subculture that they have and try to force it into the industry.
Yeah, they just treat everything like their personal playground.
Yeah, exactly. It's those type of people that I don't like. Those are cringe. I hate that. And it's even more annoying when there's a level 10, there's a level 1 to level 50 tourist, then there's a level 100 tourist. When a level 100 tourist comes in, that's what we call a colonizer.
True.
Bro, it's these sorts of people who actually try to say that let's say lollies are not welcome in the industry. It's like, what? Who the fuck are you? It's like, what? It's kind of cringe, bro. Like, it's amazing to me. It's actually amazing to me that people who don't know jack shit about anime, about VTubing, just straight up will say that and believe in it.
Yep.
It's those sorts of content creators that I know have only been around for 2 months have only been around their fucking echo chamber of a community, don't think otherwise, never care to never bother to explore fucking Nijisanji, VShoujo, Hololive, or literally the big people of this industry, and they don't want to look that up, not because they're interested, not because they're not interested. They don't want to bother looking them up because those people, these groups, these other big companies are the exact opposites of what they like. So they're gonna avoid it and pretend they don't exist because they would rather make it so that their own personal shit is actually what's true.
Yep.
It's insane. I hate colonizers. Like, oh my god, I really, really do. It's crazy to me how many people that are in the I mean, it's moments like those where you kind of have to understand or like even realize why maybe gatekeeping is a good thing after all, right? Like
Oh yeah,
gatekeeping
for sure.
gatekeeping I don't think is a universally good thing. I know a lot of my community think that it's an absolute good, but personally no, not really. Because if you gatekeep a community, you kind of kneecap yourself.
Yeah, you cut off its ability to grow independently.
Exactly. And like, when that happens, you are going to fester and become stagnant.
Yep.
And if you are a real fan of the industry or whatever hobby you would like, I would like to think that you would hope more people will get to enjoy it, right? So you
Oh wait, yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna say, like, just in the same way as like, if you have a child, you don't want to become a helicopter parent. You don't want to become a helicopter fan base either.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's sort of like that. At least that's what I think, right? So I don't think that gatekeeping is universally a good thing, but used sparingly and correctly, gatekeeping is an absolute must. It's that one option where you see bad actors everywhere and then you just boom. Yeah.
You need some sort of mechanism to identify bad actors and flush them out of the system.
True. I mean, I look at whatchamacallit? I look at Blue Archive, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. I don't know what that community did to gatekeep itself while still thriving, relatively speaking, without actually.
The genius thing about Blue Archive is the way that they gatekeep themselves is just by going hard with the kind of content that they already push out. That is their content is quite literally the same thing as their gatekeeping tool. I'm pretty sure they don't do anything special. They just take like more art of like the Blue Archive characters and routinely spam it in the face of any tourist that enters. And any tourist that doesn't like that is automatically gatekept from that fandom.
Interesting.
It's just like more of the same. It's like,
yeah, I see that. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting to me because I've just never seen any fan base or any community that's been gatekept as hard as not Genshin Impact, as Blue Archive, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. There, you can't. I don't think I can think of anyone. Oh wait, I mean, I guess there's Warhammer, but then again, like,
I don't know about Warhammer. Warhammer's a bit hit or miss when it comes to like properly gatekeeping itself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you're right. It depends. But yeah, it's interesting. It really is.
Oh wait, one of your mods, Pandora Pan, in chat earlier, like said something about like a JP story that you had about JP people like is yelling at tourists to go away or something.
Oh,
what was that?
Okay, so while I was in Japan, I went to Sensoji Shrine. I was just enjoying there, right? Like fucking going on the fortune stuff, trying to find out what my fortune is, taking pictures of the temple, just enjoying my shit as a tourist, right? As an actual proper tourist. And then, all of a sudden, this Japanese guy comes in blaring at in the middle of the shrine, in the middle of the temple. He's just fucking screaming in the middle of the street, shouting, "Chinese go home!" Chinese go home. It was the funniest shit ever, bro. People are like, he was just walking in the street. He had this aura to him where if you touch him, you feel like he might kill you. So wherever he walked, people would just carve a path for him. I mean, holy shit! If there were actual anti-Chinese racists in that goddamn place, they would have probably rolled over the red carpet for him, like, you know, fucking treating him as a king or something. It was the funniest shit ever, bro. I wish I was able to record that, but I couldn't because after a while the police came up, right? And then
They
he
arrested.
started to become no. He quieted down and then he just disappeared like Assassin's Creed style.
Damn, that's crazy.
He just blended into the street. It was the funniest shit ever. Sensoji Temple. Yeah, it was in Sensoji Temple. Screaming in English? Yes, he was screaming in English. Chinese go home. Chinese go home. He was fucking.
I mean, that's top tier. That's top tier disrespect. Because you don't wanna have to learn Mandarin in order to say that to Chinese tourists. So you just yell it in English and you cross your fingers and hope for the best.
Exactly. It's so fucking cool, bro. I went to Japan at the perfect place, a perfect time rather.
I'm not gonna lie though, like seeing what Japan has currently been going through when it comes to like the way that tourists have sometimes, like, you know, through bad behavior affected the, you know, temples, landmarks, etc. over there. I kind of don't blame them for being this aggressive right now.
I mean, yeah. No, exactly. I mean, it falls back to our discussion about how tourism, how whether or not maybe Japan should have kept their shit too properly, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's certainly an interesting topic. I think all opinions are valid. Like, if you think gatekeeping is a must, there are certain parts I can agree with you. Certain parts I don't, but at the end of the day, I think if you have that opinion, it's valid. If you don't have that opinion, it's valid. It's at the end of the day, I think context is what really matters, in my opinion.
Yeah, one thing I kind of like about looking at the current, like, you know, the current spectrum of like different creators that we have when it comes to like VTuber commentary, is that all of you guys have like, pretty different, pretty different. Maybe is not the right way of describing it, but you have varying perspectives, varying degrees of, like, you know, approval regarding the practice of gatekeeping, which I think is really like is interesting, and I think is good at the end of the day, because you don't want everyone to have the exact same view on it, simply because there will be fringe cases that you can't adjust for if you have that level of uniformity. Where I know that from what I've seen, Rima seems to be very anti-gatekeeping. But every now and again, and this is just something that I find like funny to watch, she will come across a case of someone coming in from the outside who is so awful in their conduct that she kind of has to go like, oh, she has like this moment sometimes when she's reviewing like really, for example, like really bad coverage from a commentary YouTuber that's just wandered in from the outside and decided to just, you know, go to town on a bunch of people without properly doing research, where Rima will have this sort of like moment where she like sort of like cringes a little bit while talking about it. It's just like
she kind of like she gets it, right? Like maybe she like is a good thing. I get.
She's like, I understand why you don't want these parasites around. But yeah,
exactly. That's why I think at the end of the day, it's always gonna be a case-by-case basis. Like, again, I don't think all tourists are bad people. Yeah. Right?
And to be clear, I do think that like Rima's perspective is useful, because at the end of the day, you do want to have people who are capable of pushing back against gatekeeping as a practice, because you need some sort of line in the sand where the door is open wide enough for people to come in who are genuinely, like, you know, who are genuinely looking to engage with what's currently going on already and won't demand it to change according to their tastes. And I do think that Rima's anti-gatekeeping stance is required in order to balance out some of the more like purist fan bases among VTubing. So yeah.
In general, in all communities, I think it's very valuable to have different perspectives. Like for example, right? I mean, I see this a lot. I see this a lot, right? But if like if certain communities are in agreement with one opinion, I think that's super unhealthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because because it invalidates and would not it invalidates and would not have a place, and just allows for a place for other people who might think otherwise, make them feel unwelcome in a place where they want to be. And it's like, it's kind of unhealthy in any community in general. I would
Yeah.
like to think that all industries should be able to have their own uh have their own circles, be in their own lanes,
Oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
Regardless of what their opinion is. Like, I think that's ultimately important, right? Like,
Even if you look at the
you know,
community as a whole, when you have this absolute uniformity of opinion, what you tend to find is that the community itself will become a lot more inflexible, a lot less adaptable if something from the outside were to happen that would affect it as well.
true. You'd
Actually,
become a fucking mob.
the kind of. Not to bring up, actually. I mean, this is something that I've already said I'm going to talk about in like a future stream, but like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to I'm considering whether I should bring it up explicitly.
Wait, you can DM me if you want, and then we'll decide. Teehee.
I mean, it's not like bad per se, but like,
Teehee?
not explicitly that. So just more generally.
Oh, okay, then let's go ham then. All right,
For
okay.
example, right, like one of the things that I've observed about like, and this is something that has cropped up recently as well. One thing that I've observed about the shoujo in particular, for example, and this is an example where uniformity of opinion, even if that opinion is positive, can be a bad thing. Where what I've seen happen multiple times over the course of this year is that a single talent will post something that will get them flack from just people in general, and yet the flack that they receive is completely and utterly predictable, where anyone who looked at that response before it went live, went public, could probably sit down the talent and tell them, look,
It's a bad idea.
yeah, you are going to get a lot of shit for this. And every time it comes out, there is always this sort of like almost instant uniformity amongst all of the other talents, where they will basically say like, something along the lines of,
Go do it. Like,
yeah,
hell yeah,
something
fam.
something along the lines of like, it's good that you've done this, like it's courageous for you to do this, etc., etc. And like I
Ooh.
get the solidarity, right? But it also makes me wonder if there is anyone behind the scenes who is capable of expressing a difference of opinion. Because again, like I said, right, unconditional support can be unhealthy if it comes at the cost of being realistic about what you're trying to do. And how do I say this?
No, you're right. Yeah.
When
I think that-
when you reach
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
level of like, when you reach a level of complete affirmation within an environment among different individuals within a group, that group as a whole becomes a lot more blind to the possible different interpretations of what it does and says, and other perspectives that lie outside of that. And I mean,
You know what
Yeah.
you just described?
yeah,
It's called an echo chamber.
oh yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
This is one of the reasons why echo chambers are like so bad, is because like regardless of whether it's a positive or a negative echo chamber, it's just that everyone in it becomes a lot less flexible, a lot less capable of perceiving perspectives outside of their own, and a lot more susceptible to, well, being ruined or at least majorly affected by an external force that you did not predict.
yeah, no,
And
exactly.
it's the thing that bothers me about looking at Vishoja's posts throughout the entirety of this year, and I'm not talking about a lot of them, maybe like 3 or 4 separate instances, although the fact that they all occurred within the span of 6 months is a little concerning when you look at the fact that they also came from different talents. It makes me wonder, again, like I said, it makes me wonder if there is anyone behind the scenes who could voice out the obvious and tell the talents that this is a bad idea.
I mean, honestly, since we don't have any like insights of how VShojo's managers operate, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the hand of VShojo's management ever bonk any of the talents aside from the whole Kason thing, right? I mean, at least not that I can recall out of in recent memory. Like, I've never seen that, and I think that's why it was kind of a big deal to a certain degree. Even I mean, bro, I'm not even caught up to the whole fucking fruit situation that's happening right now. Right? It's because I just don't have the time to like look
that's
through
fair,
it.
that's fair.
It's a whole slog to go through.
I've started making a slideshow on just not even the fruit situation, but how the fruit situation is like, it has established a pattern over the course of this year that ties into everything I talked about just then about, you know, possibly like giving the idea that there is an echo chamber that makes the Vishojo talents blind to how the messages they put out might be received differently to the way that they envision them in their heads, which is like, if you have a PR team, that's generally what their job is to sit you down and tell you, I understand what you're trying to say, but please understand, this is not how other people might interpret it.
I mean, to a certain degree, right? If all the talents have the same fucking opinion, and like that one manager says what he needs to say, and every other talent or every other person like pushes back against what that one PR guy has to say, then that one manager won't have any say about it. You know, like I see that happen all the I see that happen all the time. Where like, you know, when a manager or like somebody that's supposed to tell somebody no gets a very like insistent pushback on a certain decision, like, you know, predictably it fucking blows up on their face. Like, it happens all the time even.
Yeah.
Because it's just weird. Yeah.
I was going to say, there was someone in chat who said the silver lining here is that they're all considered indie, so there's no way to manage this. The thing is, though, they're like...
Vishojo indie?
That's my reaction as well, kind of. But like, again, this is something that I will probably be talking about more in greater detail in a later date. But like,
hell yeah.
Vishojo is still a company. Like, if you look at all of their branding, all of their like messaging around who they are, what they do, they always say they are a talent first VTuber company. And the main problem, and this is the way that I view things, like as they are right now, is that I'm not sure if the management at Vishojo understands that talent first and talent freedom do not always mean the same thing. Because if one talent goes and does something that gets them flack, because of the way that Vishojo works, all of the other talents will be caught in the crossfire. Because all of the other talents, by nature of the way that, you know, again, the whole point of Vishojo, the way that it exists right now, is the idea that, well, 1, all of them have talent freedom, and 2, all of them are friends behind the scenes as well. Or at least friendly behind the scenes as well. And that means that, ironically, that means that in public, they always need to project the idea that they're friends. So if one talent does something, every other talent needs to come in and like publicly voice support. So if one talent does something that gets them flack, the others are also likely to get caught in the crossfire as a result of that. And it's for that reason, the fact that they have to display this constant uniformity, this constant solidarity, that I don't think it's reasonable to view them as indies. Or just like, you know... As much as a lot of people like to say that Vishojo is just like an indie friend group in a trench coat, they are still a company at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I've never actually thought about it that way, the more I think about it. I think you're right, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a pattern that we've seen since 2020, since their inception, even. So it's
Yeah,
interesting to see
kind
that.
of.
It's interesting to realize that, yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
like I said about being inflexible, what you've realized, what people might have realized when they look at all of the different instances of like VShojo talents messing up on what they say online, is every single time management has only been able to react and not prevent, and that is a natural consequence of being inflexible in that way. Where you are always on the back foot, you are always stuck trying to respond to a crisis that you did not anticipate. And that's the kind of thing that is like, you know, when I see that happening more than once over the course of 6 months in a major company that has as many resources as VShojo does, that's when my eyebrows start to rise a little bit when I look at the way that things are going. So
Interesting.
armchair so the toxic positivity makes it just another click.
I'm gonna be real with you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think VShojo is as tight. I don't think VShojo is as tight knit as a lot of people think it is. Yeah.
I mean,
hold on.
that's like, I mean, that's kind of like understandable, but the problem is, for me at least, and this is like a massive tangent from what we were talking about before, but like, I honestly feel like part of the problem is the fact that it is a part of their branding. Like, talent freedom and friendship, they're great when you have them, but when you use them as branding in a corporate way, it starts to create situations where professionalism and friendship behind the scenes there is going to be some friction there. And I'm not saying that VShojo is incapable of navigating that, but it does make for awkward situations on occasion where talents are allowed to do whatever they want. When there is basically no oversight by management on what they end up publicly doing or saying.
I guess that's yeah, there's multiple layers of that I want to actually talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe this stream is not the right one for that.
For sure. Yeah.
It's, I feel like that's an entire tangent that we should have a separate conversation on. We're gonna be real.
VShojo collab stream? Question mark.
Hey, probably, yeah, we can talk about that. I mean, there's a reason why, right? Why a lot of people, even back then, before they're kind of, even when they were popular, right? Like, they dislike the idea of VShojo. It's because it's antithetical. It's antithetical to how VTuber agencies have operated in the past, and like, it's its own black horse. We're gonna dig into that soon. Yeah.
I do think, though, like, just briefly before we like leave this tangent behind, I do think that VShojo, like, what it's trying to do, I think, is ultimately a healthy thing for the industry in general, because expanding the definition of what a corpo or an agency is and can do, I do think is a good thing. The only problem is you have to make sure that the benefits of your the benefit of the differences between you and what a traditional corpo or agency is need to overshadow the disadvantages that come along with that difference. And VShojo has not always been in the position where that is the case.
I mean, though, to be fair, like, I mean, it's like the whole thing of VShojo's flaws are other agencies' strengths, and other agencies' flaws are VShojo's strength, kind of thing. It's because I feel like that's like ultimately, I think that's what's going on. So, how do I want to say this? Like, each, not necessarily each to their own, but that's all like how I can describe it, right? I mean, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to support how VShojo operates things, even if certain people, logically or emotionally or whatever cases in their bias might be, will think otherwise. It's like, it's like that. At least that's how I see it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways,
what was the punishment for
For
Yeah?
being a bad tourist, depressed Nousagi came up with the sentence of VTuber re-education camp.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Hell yeah. Look, bro. I did say the punishments are gonna be thematically important, poetic, and
Yeah.
also rehabilitated. I sentenced them to an entire re-education camp. That's what's gonna happen. They need to sit through an entire backlog of what happened since 2018 to 2024, and then maybe I'll consider them passable.
Fair.
Right? Yeah, true.
You're gonna like make them sit down and like fill out workbooks and like recite mottos in order to make sure that they've gotten like all of the events thoroughly in their heads.
True. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, the educate yourself classic.
It's a fucking VTuber academy, right? But instead of teaching people how to be VTubers, it's teaching people how to survive as VTubers.
Yeah,
In the sense where they can actually stay in the industry and not as content creators, but as general culture consumers, you know? Yeah.
I mean, in my honest opinion, you should never try to make content for an audience or a space without first consuming it yourself. That just seems like such an awful approach towards making content for a specific audience.
It's the most dishonest shit ever. It's like fucking. Oh god. Are you? Oh my god. I don't want to go on this entire fucking tangent, but
No,
yeah, no, I agree with you. You know how some Hollywood actors or some Hollywood writers fucking take up the tasks of writing the adaptations of certain beloved IPs, right? And they're not even fans of these fucking franchises. Biggest example, The Witcher, Halo, Snow White with Rachel Ziegler, whatchamacallit, like these sorts of things.
There was like the Velma,
Star
as well.
Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars,
like,
Velma, all of these
why?
shit shows.
Like, you have to wonder why. Like, what made you fucking come here? It's so crazy.
No, it's just I really do feel like at the end of the day it all boils down to resentment. Like resentment at themselves for not having actual talent or creativity, any modicum of originality, and then resentment at other people for making stories that did have all of those traits.
Resentment, huh? I mean, no, I can believe that. Yes. Interesting.
Oh yeah, Minecraft.
Oh my
Who thought
God.
of Jack Black as Steve in Minecraft? What
To
were
be
they
fair-
smoking? Yeah?
I can see Blackjack as Steve if he was the voice actor.
Yeah, exactly. They should have just made an animated movie. Like, what I'm hoping for is that they get shamed so much that we get Sonic Movie 2.0, where they just go back to the drawing board, just redo everything in a way that actually makes sense to the fans, and
True.
then release the movie. Because what
And
is...
you
yeah?
You know what also would have been the easiest fucking W in the entirety of Warner Bros. Or whoever the fuck is making the Minecraft movie? Just get one of those fucking Blender animators from old YouTube Minecraft animators back then. Just give them like $100,000 and they'll make the movie for them. Just give them the script, give them the voice acting. Boom. Instead of spending 200 million, you spend what, like 10 million, 5 million max? Like that would be the easiest W ever. Like do the whole thing where fucking, you know how Blumhouse basically makes like low effort horror movies.
Yeah.
But their returns are so high because they built such a cult following.
Yeah,
They could
it just works.
do that.
Yeah.
They're so stupid. I don't understand how they're so fucking stupid.
I feel like
Holy
it's just a
shit.
bunch of middle management that's managed to convince everyone that they need a budget that's as overinflated as the current one is.
I hate that.
Like
I really do.
if they stopped laying off actors and like, you know, sound engineers and editors and they just laid off middle management, I really do feel like they would be able to change the way that movies are made overnight. They would save so much money is crazy.
Oh my god.
They need to stop trying to go
Armchair, are you
for like
saying
blockbusters all the time, yeah?
are you saying that people need to lose their jobs?
If you're in middle
What?
management, I'm sorry, you have no sympathy. You have no sympathy from me. Like, nah.
But
nah.
Armchair, what if those middle management are disenfranchised people?
Right now,
How
I think the
could
problem
you?
is there's too much
Racist?
of it. Yeah,
Sexist?
yeah. That's what I am. That's what I am. I
True,
don't like
true.
the middle managers because middle managers are my least favorite race.
True. No, I can agree with that. I can. But at the same time, though, they do make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the reason why everything is so inflated.
It's kind of like,
in the
would I
industry.
marry a middle manager? Sure.
Yeah,
Would I
I
hire
would.
one? Fuck no. That kind of thing.
True. Yeah. No, 100%. That's wise. That's how you do it. Would you start a middle management business?
Would I become one? Sure.
Yeah. Let's go. Look, man. We're all hypocrites in our own way, right?
Sure,
Yeah, let's
sure.
go. I would do that as well. Don't worry. But anyway,
But
oh God,
I'd be one of the good ones. I'd be one of the good ones.
true. You can be the change you wanted to see in middle management,
Yeah.
essentially, right?
I'll show my solidarity by getting fired in 10 years.
True. What's the next thing?
Oh,
What else did we
I
do?
only had one more, and this was another personal one.
Oh,
People who fake gatekeep knowledge that can be found for free in order to sell a quote-unquote course.
let's go. Are you talking
I-
about fucking?
Yeah, VTuber growth guidebook. But
Let's go.
this is so stupid. Like, as someone who not only as someone who's basically been through university and basically like burnt out at the end of it and realized that I've basically enrolled into a glorified pyramid scheme. This is such a... I detest this because, like, at the end of the day, the only good thing about what I've done in university, or what university has offered me that I couldn't get from a YouTube tutorial that I just took time to look up myself, is networking and, like, access to academic papers without needing to sell off my organs. And that's pretty much it. Like,
I'm gonna be. Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go on.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna be real. This is a good thing.
This,
I'm gonna explain tell you why.
is it because of stupid tax?
If no,
Okay, yeah,
if
go
you
on.
are so absolutely stupid, absolutely desperate, you would refuse to just look at the free tutorials that you've seen online and refuse to press that go live button, and you'd rather buy a VTuber growth guidebook. You deserve to get scammed. I'm just gonna be real with you. You deserve to get scammed. Like, why would you do that? Why?
To be fair, like, I understand that, but at the same time, I also feel like most of the people who come into this space and who would be looking for something like this are just people who are so naive, so baby-faced, that they literally have no idea of where to start looking for information. Like,
That's a good thing.
Maybe they come in... Maybe their favorite VTuber is like, oh, I don't know, like Bao or someone. It's like, one day I want to grow big and strong and be just like her. And they have no clue how to do that. So the first thing they look up is like, you know, how to grow as a VTuber. And then you get this that just pops up in their timeline or recommended somewhere. Something like this. And then they instantly go, damn, that's so cheap. Only, like, what was this? How much did this cost? It was like $25 or something? Like, only $25, and I have all the skills I would need to become a VTuber? Damn, that's crazy. And they just purchase it. Because...
That's a good thing.
they...
You know why?
Yeah.
You remember what I said when the whole fucking bad times create weak men,
Yeah.
strong men. Yeah, hey man.
This creates
Look,
hard time.
This you being scammed by this is gonna be a very important character development arc. You being scammed out of $25 is way better than you being scammed by $5,000 just because you thought having a good VTuber model was enough to grow as a VTuber. That's all I'm saying, right? Like, think about it. Yeah. Yeah.
To be fair, all you really need to become a VTuber is a few $1,000s or a few 100 hours. And so long as you have either of those two, I think it's pretty much possible to get yourself started. But like, yeah.
True. I mean, we're both PNGs, right? I mean,
yeah.
Technically, I guess I'm a VTuber now, but you're just a fucking chair with glasses, and I'm just a rabbit creature with a Jack Daniels. Like that's just how easy it is. Let's be real, right? Like, come on. Internet historian.
We didn't need to pay 4-digit numbers, 4-digit sums in order to get started.
Exactly. It's fucking crazy.
Like
it's not.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard to start. I'm gonna be real.
At the end of the day, though, I don't know. It's like I want the people who would unironically buy this to be laughed at, but ideally, I wouldn't want people who make this stuff to get paid. Is my only problem.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Like,
you're right,
everyone involved in this transaction deserves to be made fun of. But I don't think anyone in this transaction deserves to make or lose money. You know?
True. You know what? Yeah, that's a good angle to look at it. Maybe, that's true.
Now, if I could take the money instead... No, I'm joking.
Now, if I made a VTuber growth guidebook, I would say I have a better... You know, I mean, I know VTubers. I'm a relatively successful VTuber myself that also knows how to write. Maybe I could do it.
Unironically, like, I feel like most of the sales of this, like, guide thing came from other creators that just wanted to make content out of it or, like, just meme. But,
just pirate it.
Yeah.
You know what my friends do? You know what my friends do? One of them just bought it and then we just share the file around.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do that.
Yeah. Honestly,
can I buy the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you look at just the things that it lists, right, like branding, niches, marketing, debuts, shorts, algorithms, like all of this stuff actually looks good. Like, I can see why, if you are a fresh-faced person looking to get into VTubing, you see all of these things, you're like, damn, that's exactly what I was looking for. All in one place? What a steal! And then you never realize that you're getting fucking hosed in, like, while all of this is going on. But, like...
That's crazy.
Again, this is why you watch VTubers before trying to become one. Because that way you will understand how all of these things work just via osmosis. Just watch your favorite content creator for a while, and then you will know. Like, unironically, there are certain content creators who simply by watching their streams, just watching them go about their day-to-day business, you will be able to pick up stuff because they just drop it, like, you know, they just drop it every now and then. Like, for example, like Giga from VShojo is unironically, like, if you just tune into like more than 5 Giga streams, you don't even need to watch the entire thing. You will probably pick up all of the knowledge that this guy is offering for $25. Like, come on.
Boo, I need to watch a stream to learn.
Oh, that's crazy.
The absolute state. Why can't I just spend fucking 25 grand and absorb all of this in 10 minutes? I don't want to sit in a stream for 5 hours. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like,
I am going to be the Andrew Tate of VTubing. I'm going to make a course. Imagine though, right?
What would you call? Crazy. You know how Andrew Tate has like his branding where he says like the course will help you escape the matrix. Like, what is your selling point going to be?
Break the rabbit hole.
Okay, escape the rabbit hole. Nice.
No, not escape. No.
Break
it. Yeah, break it.
That's pretty.
You're going to exceed. You're gonna exceed the rabbit hole beyond its depths, or something like that. I have to think about it. It has to be something catchy, right?
No, that sounds.
Escape the matrix.
That's got legs. That's got legs. You could flesh it out a bit more. True. Oh wait, yeah.
Escape the
Dizzy is
Matrix
another.
is so legendary though.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was gonna say Dizzy's another streamer that's also like, via osmosis, you can probably pick up how this industry works by just watching a few of her out of character streams. And you can get all of this for free. Like, I know it's gonna take a few hours, but if you're not entertained by VTubers, why would you want to become one? Is my question. You know?
Because Armchair, I wanna be popular and I want money and I wanna be a cute anime girl.
True.
How hard is that to understand?
The
You're telling
masculine
me I need
urge
to
to
have...
become a cute anime girl on the internet.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. I believe that.
You can.
True.
I'm
Wait,
sure
why-
you can very personally relate to that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, although that's not me anymore, teehee.
I mean, your host subathon went crazy.
Yeah. Bro, money? Oh, women in the internet?
Money
GFE
women on the internet.
Yeah. V-Pimper, man. I might make that agency. I just need an investor. I just need a small loan of 100 grand and I'll be set.
Just go around to some really rich kid, like maybe the CEO of the quote unquote CEO of like VC or something, and just convince them to give you a few $1,000s.
True. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna email fucking the CEO of Brave Group.
I have a great business proposition for you, sir.
True. Oh my god, imagine though, right? Teehee, we don't know. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be, it was actually super wild. Again, that's just the power of anime women when they know what they're doing, I guess. In terms of like, I mean, it's more than that, right? I mean, obviously, it's a little, not necessarily sexist, but it's like, it's a little oversimplification when I say that if you're a woman, you just get automatic money, right? Like, that's not how it works. You have to behave a certain way. You have to have an appeal, a certain appeal that may be specific to a certain group of content creators, right?
Yeah.
It really depends. Yeah.
I mean, in the case of VTubing, like, it's pretty much the same as every other like genre of content creation, where you just need to have a brand. You need to understand how to brand yourself as a creator. And when it comes to when it comes to like women in VTubing, I think there are more established conventions when it comes to ways of branding yourself than there are for male VTubers.
True.
Even though there are some tropes, like for example, you could start off as a male VTuber, you just do like ASMR, BFE stuff, and that's like, well,
oh god,
you sell your soul to have an automatic niche right off the bat. But like,
I think I told you, right? I was actually half considering doing that back in 2022.
I did not remember this.
I was like, I genuinely, I told my people in my chat, my regulars know about this. There was a certain time back in 2022, I was seeing the absolute fucking success that Luxium had, right? I wanted to evolve from a Nousagi to a relatively hot anime character protagonist that had a very strong resemblance to Virgil. Yeah, no, I'm serious. I'm actually serious.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna make a VTuber ASMR, but I was gonna I was gonna talk like this. I was gonna, like a fucking cringe Filipino voice that's obviously intentionally trying to try and sound sexy.
Just like gargle some bile before every stream and just like just try to get as low and raspy as humanly possible. I was gonna ask you, did you ever like write an ASMR script or anything?
I have made a lot.
Wait, no way.
I have made a lot.
No way. Have you read any of them out to your chat before?
No.
Okay, no. This has to be turned into a subathon goal or something. This is an untapped gold mine. You have to do it.
It's just look. I'm very guilty about this, and I'm not afraid to show my sins, right? Hey, I mean, I can just fucking give this to News and have her do it. No.
It is our duty to birth our own creations. Come on, you can't deprive your fans of hearing you actually read out your own ASMR scripts.
Bro, it's turbo cringe. What do you mean?
No, but that's the point. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it.
Bro, no amount of money is gonna get this out of me, man.
No, if it's that bad, you could always get your friends to read it out for you.
Look, I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't want to do it is because I think it's actually super good.
Okay. You should send me one or two of them.
Look,
after
you
the
have
stream.
no idea.
I
You
want
have
to
no
see.
idea.
I want to see what the fire you wrote was.
I'm not gonna do that. But look, what I'm gonna tell you is I studied so much and listened to so much Vox Akuma ASMRs
wait.
tried to like break down how he managed to get certain reactions from certain things. Oh my god, bro! I was gonna make it. I was gonna fucking make it, but I didn't.
Wait, what is the name? What is the formal name of your fan base?
I don't have one. I don't have one. That's no, I don't have one.
Do I just call them like the Sagis?
No, just fucking call them chat. They don't deserve names.
Chat, Nousagi's chat. If any of you are here, I know Pandora, you're here. You need to remember this. You need to preserve this. Spread the word. Spread the word that DN is hiding his ASMR scripts that he cooked personally, and that these are supposed to be god tier scripts, but he just doesn't want to whip them out.
Maybe I'm over exaggerating. They're not god tier scripts. I just have
no. When someone tells you who they are and what they're doing, you listen. And you told us you had god tier scripts. Come on.
I mean, I was exaggerating a little bit. I just think I had full confidence in what I had. You know, like actually 100%. Like this is the sort of thing that I'm confident I would send out to someone like fucking, I don't know, that you're one of the best ASMR BFE VTuber, and they'll probably think it's super good, and they're probably gonna buy it from me, sort of thing.
Have you ever ghostwritten for an ASMR VTuber?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
I might have. I'm not gonna say anything. Teehee.
Damn. Okay. Nah, you've got established history then. You have a resume.
Maybe.
Nah, there is no way that you can keep these scripts outside of ever seeing the light of day.
Try me, bitch. Try me. Let's fucking go. No, seriously though. That was from a bygone age, and the more I think about it, it's super cringe that I even thought about doing.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Someone in chat said, "Let Parrot read it." If I
Oh my god, you know what?
If we could ever get a depressed Nousagi ASMR script read aloud by Parrot 4chan, that would be
a good narrator.
That would be top 10 VTuber adjacent creator events to happen in this year. Without a doubt. Worlds would collide for that event.
That is actually a good idea the more I think about it.
Come on,
oh my god, I need to find it.
You have to do it. You have to do it.
Yeah, maybe actually, you know what? I'm gonna think about it, chat. No promises. I have to find it first, because it was in my old PC, and as some of you guys know, I did have a new PC. But I think I'm confident it's still there. It's somewhere in my hard drive. I just need to find it. Oh my god. Imagine though, right?
See, chat, never say that I don't advocate for you when it comes to getting you more Kino content.
True. Look,
they're asking me to get one of the scripts from you so that I can read it aloud for one of my joke ASMR streams.
True. We're just shit posting, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Just a
As
meme.
a joke, definitely. True.
Just a meme.
Yeah. You know what? I need to hit a Parrot on that. That might actually be so fucking fire. And then I'm gonna have Mari Yume. I'm gonna have Rima. I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna have, I don't know, a lot of people act as like
it's like the
judge.
Avengers of ASMR.
True. Look, man. Hey, we don't know what's gonna happen, right? We don't know. Holy fuck. That's actually a super fire idea, though. That's great. Jesus. But
I look forward to seeing if you flesh it out.
Like I said, no promises.
No promises. We gotta keep it. We gotta only keep it as a possibility, nothing more.
True. I mean, Even then, right? YouTube fucking kills out ASMRs. That's the thing.
Okay, to be fair, as long as we're not slurping on the mic or we don't accidentally brush up on it. No, okay, so I've been so you know how recently we've been getting an entire wave of bans on YouTube for just doing ASMR content or something similar. One of the common trends among them, and this is something I'm going to be talking about more in the future stream as well, but it seems to be the case where as long as you don't like physically brush up against the mic, or you don't like, again, you don't make like slurping sounds or like moaning sounds into it, you should be fine.
Bro, that's crazy.
But again, it's so stupid because some people are getting shot in the head for just, you know, just lightly brushing their mic by accident or something. It's just like, bruh. The Goon Brigade! Thank you for the 2, Sir Tortillas. Holy.
Me,
did I say senor earlier? Sorry, that was my bad. I should have said sir.
Oh, that's sir?
Unless senor and sir mean the same thing, but...
Oh.
But yeah. The Goon Brigade is a funny name.
Oh. Yep.
Anyways.
So anyway, holy shit. Did we have anything else? I feel like we have something else.
Nah, not really. I mean,
Oh,
just for chat, the sentence for this is just barred from watching any content besides infomercials for 18 months. That's pretty much it. Being forced to sit through ads for, like, you know, other shitty products, essentially.
Oh, ads.
At the very least, they'll learn something about advertising, because these things are rarely marketed well. Senor and sir mean the same thing? Ah, okay. Excellent. So I wasn't actually, like, wrong. Alright. In that case, there's pretty much nothing else to get through. I think we've pretty much gone through all of the different groups, explained our ways of thinking, our devious creations.
True. Lobotomy. Lobotomy. Hell yeah.
You sound
Such
tired.
a golden practice.
So,
yeah, I've been awake for like a lot of hours, bro. It's wild.
I understand that you also had to basically escape the McDonald's to get back to your B&B, which probably would have been exhausting as well.
No, okay, so here's what happened.
Yeah.
6 a.m. I had to wake. Not 6 a.m. 7 a.m. Oh wait, no, I slept at 2 a.m. yesterday.
Okay.
I woke up at 7 because I had work to do, like my actual like IRL work.
Yeah.
I work remote, by the way. That's why I'm able to do what I am.
Oh, okay.
And then 11 I went. I had to go to Akihabara. I went to the I went to the Mr. Donut's Mr. Donut place.
Yep.
And then I walked for entire. Japan has this thing where walking is so comfortable, you kind of forget that your feet is actually hurting. But then I just walked and did a lot of stuff, and then I had dinner with friends, and then walked all the way back to a station. Oh my god. I'm too tired to form cohesive sentences right now.
Fair.
But basically, I did a lot of stuff today, yesterday, the other day, and simultaneously managing a fucking marathon stream. Holy shit, it's tiring as shit, bro. Yeah.
No, I can definitely see that happening.
Hey man, the things you have to do for content, right?
True. We all must pay we all must pay our pound of flesh in order to secure the content.
Hell yeah. Stab ourselves in the neck. Use it as blood for the algorithm gods, you know? That's just how it works sometimes.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Oh my god. Anyway, so I guess is that it?
That about sums it up. I'll let you go now because I'm probably just going to be reading out the super chats that I missed over the course of this stream.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, man, and thank you for being patient with me. Holy shit, because I did not want to come in here late. I actually was looking forward to this collab because I was I'm memeing this up as me being an excuse, having an excuse to be racist, although I'm not actually racist. You know, I was going to say all sorts of shit, but it seems like I did. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I'm glad you were able to let that out.
True. Yeah, I'll be off then. I hope you have a fun stream, bro. Let's go.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
And there he goes. Chat, don't forget. Don't forget. Never say that I do not cook for you. I do not cook on your behalf. Alright. I'm going to switch over to the abduction screen while I whip out the super chats to read aloud. So, if any of you want to stick around for that, feel free. But if you want to disappear off into the ether, that's fine as well. Poor guy. Every time I speak to Nousagi, he really does sound like the most overworked man alive. The guy actually runs on like only a fraction of the advisable amount of sleep to get daily, which is it is truly an endeavor to do to manage what he does. Sir Tortillas, thank you for the 2. Balanced as it should be. Screening is always good. I think this was when we were talking about filtering things through when it comes to gatekeeping. So yeah, very much so. JV Robergato, thank you for the 125 Philippine pesos. You eat the mushroom yourself to prove it's not poisonous. When proving that, you know, taking the initiative to do things yourself, performing things. Omen, thank you for the 5. I chose to boycott Activision Blizzard back during the Blitzchung debacle by deleting my damn account, these cowards. Yeah, I mean, again, no better way to show that you are protesting a game than by continuing to play it. It never ceases to amaze me how these people think that that is a good idea and will accomplish something. But again, hard to execute a boycott properly when you're not even old enough to understand what the definition of a boycott is, I suppose. 3000 Cordinium Fighter Jets of Soup. Damn, that's a long name. Thank you for the 10. I got one. The annoying crime telling others that many tank turrets are either off-center or asymmetrical. The punishment sentenced to a Type 97 Chiha fighting against M4 Shermans in the Pacific. I'm not going to lie. I think I lack the sufficient autism to be able to understand what exactly you are referencing there. But in the future, perhaps I will gain enough knowledge to understand what you mean. Scarling Michael Ore, thank you for the 2. Good day, I just woke up. How did it go? It went brilliantly. We found out something very interesting about Nousagi that he has not disclosed prior to this stream. So if you want to go back through the VOD after I end stream, or if you want to go into, if you want to just tune into Nousagi's future streams, maybe you'll hear a bit more about that. JV Robergata, thank you for the 250 Philippine pesos. I'm more of a proponent of the elite theory, elites versus counter-elites. People don't realize that they are working for another elite. They are not anti-imperialist, they are supporting another empire. When we were talking, this was referencing back when we were talking about Marxist ideology. Yeah, nah, I can see how that could be the case and how you could interpret that being the way that things are done. So, yeah. 3000 Cordinium, not all of us are cursed knowing that M1 Abrams are not of a symmetrical design. Thank you for your understanding. I've already read that out. Yeah, I think that's all of the ones that I missed. So, again, for those of you who are still here, we will be having another stream in the usual time slot. This, well, Friday going off EST time, Saturday if you're going off of AU time. This is one that I'm not even halfway through prepping the slides for this one. The whole Twitch thing, which is what we're going to be talking about, it's an absolute mess. It is a clusterfuck because of the fact that, well, finding evidence of, well, sorry, how do I say this? Finding records of what has gone wrong is so difficult, partially because Twitch, one, insists, for some bizarre reason, upon not telling anyone what they've done wrong, although hopefully they change that with the new policy going forward. But also, their shoot first, ask questions later means that a lot of the VODs that remain from the penalties that they hand out just get obliterated instantly. So there's that as well, which is fun. But on the bright side, a lot of the creators that I reach out to have responded to me. They've been very, they've been very gracious and forthcoming with just answering the questions that I have about the circumstances surrounding their warnings and bans from Twitch. So again, small mercies. I'm very grateful for that. It's probably a really stressful time for them as well, because again, they're the ones getting warnings and bans, not me. But yeah. I hear you've gotten a lot of responses. Yeah, for sure. And again, I'm just glad that they were willing to talk to me, because at the end of the day, black box system, exactly. The only way we're going to be able to work out what exactly the fuck Twitch is doing is if we have more data, more stories, more, just accounts from people telling us what has been done to them. So that time has come. Yep. But anyways, in the meantime, I have a few ideas for future streams lined up. After we finish talking through the Twitch situation, I will likely be going through the YouTube one, and then we will finally, after maybe another collab, we will finally be able to do that tech corporation stream that I've been putting off for ages. And again, the thing that I said this in a community post from before, but just to reiterate, the reason why I'm finally pulling the trigger, putting my foot down and deciding that we're not going to do anything more recent until we've done the tech stream is because those of you who've seen the post in my community tab will know that I'm planning on talking about VShojo's PR, or, well, I suppose lack thereof in certain cases throughout this year. And in order to understand some of the points that I'm going to be making in the VShojo stream, we are going to have to go through some of the stuff that is, like, again, part of the tech stream. So, again, if you haven't been keeping up with with what I've been doing in my community tab on my channel, then all of that might sound like gobbledygook. But it'll hopefully all coalesce in the end into something coherent and hopefully useful to you guys. Please, God, the Tech Corp stream. Yeah, don't worry. It's not going to be the least favorite child for long. So yeah. Lamau, watch more drama happen. I've made the decision that even if more drama happens, again, I try not to just talk about things because of their quote-unquote drama value, but because they have actual, like, room for useful concepts and case studies to be established. And as a result, like, for example, the VShojo thing, right? It's not time sensitive because it's not just the drama value that I'm hoping to be able to, essentially, like, channel through the content. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about, even if it is partially reiterated from what I've discussed beforehand on this channel, it's lessons about how to conduct yourself, how to communicate with an audience you can't control that I do think are going to be helpful going forward, regardless of who and what you're talking about. So, yeah. Drama will always happen. So, exactly. Yeah. Alright, I think that about does it for everything that I want to discuss on this stream. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. This was very fun to do. I really hope Nousagi ends up pulling out those scripts for more content in the future. But in any case, I might just end stream here. Let me take a look at who else is streaming at the moment to see who we can possibly raid into. Oh, Pirate Software is streaming. Alright. Well, if you guys don't know who Pirate Software is, very cool game dev, gives great life advice in addition to just giving, well, explaining in a very level-headed and accessible way how games can be made, specifically how games can be made by you, if that's your interest. And yeah, I'm going to be sending you guys over there. He has a very soothing voice as well, so if that's what you're into, it'll probably be very nice to listen to in the background to replace me droning on as your white noise of choice. Jane Doe, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Footstools. So yeah, I'll send you guys over there. Thanks again for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all of those things. And I'll see you guys Friday, Saturday. Otsu chair. Otsu chair.